Straight Riffin is filmed in front of a live internet audience.
I am riffing. Mitch is riffing. What more can I say? Straight riffing. Do you know how fucking desperate I am for some comfort in my life? I need that pillow.
This show is intended for mature audiences only.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
I don't know how much more disgusting this experience could get.
Are you really not having a good time?
I'm having a fantastic time. I just can't believe how disgusting you are.
I kept yelling, I'm not gonna whip my dick out. We talked about that. I'm not gonna do that.
Featuring your host, Mitch Marzoni.
I don't walk around going like, hey, I'm really weird. Look at me, I'm weird. As far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly normal. It's a litmus test for freaky people.
And Teddy Tutson.
I'm a hate mercenary. Yeah.
All right. Hate mercenary.
Hater for hire. Hater for hire. I should put on a bit of disguise.
There are two victimless crimes, all right? One, jerking off when your window's open. Two, necrophilia.
I'm confessing to a large-scale crime scene.
Okay, all right.
now.
Legs akimbo, engaged in sexual discourse.
Come on, man. What kind of guest are you?
It's archived for posterity.
Great internet.
So
Great
it'll come back to haunt you every day.
Yikes.
It's time to rip.
Oh, that is right, bitches and motherfuckers. It is October 22nd, 2012, episode 84, and it's time to riff the fuck on. I'm your host, Reverend Mitch, and with me, as always, is the difficult brown, the hater for hire, Mr. Teddy, TMI Tutson. How in the fuck are you, sir?
I'm feeling good, Mitch. I'm holding on right now, son. I'm on that last stage of the Underground Railroad, feeling that cool freedom northern breeze on my face right now.
Sure.
Shout out to Sojourner
Sure.
Truth, son. We coming home, son. Suffrage is in the building, baby.
Okay.
What up?
I know some of those words. Our special guests this evening, a two-pronged attack, as it were, are very close personal friends of mine. I've known them for, I want to say, almost a decade. So they are filled with lies. They are my, as I've referenced on the show before, my surrogate adopted family. My postmodern, if you will,
Let the
family.
games begin.
What a lovely, lovely voice. Please give a welcome to Anthony. Oh, shit. Where is it?
Mitch.
Oh. Anthony and Melanie Clark.
Yay!
How
Crowd goes wild.
the fuck are the two of yous?
We are doing fantastic. Thank you for having us
Fantastic?
on. So we're your surrogate family. That means you're black, right? Mitch?
Yeah. That's what
Now, wait a second.
No, actually,
Yes!
hey,
He's in there.
You know what? I co-sign for Mitch.
Yeah.
Hold on a second now.
comes
Now
up.
you've got to be
That
brought up
comes
to
up
speed here. I don't know how much you know. It's been a long, arduous battle here at Riffin headquarters.
Let me say this, Teddy. The joke about the newsletter came from me riffing with Anthony years ago.
I know. This is what
I
I'm
told you
saying.
the Tang
told me.
story, didn't I? I did tell you that.
Real quick, let me say this.
All right,
This
go
was
ahead.
because this was adorable. When Melanie,
no.
when Melanie
It's the most
read,
gangster use of adorable I've ever heard in my life.
when Melanie
He'll
read
do that.
she was reading me the marketing piece you did for the show, and so she goes, "Riffin, what's riffin? What is that, babe?"
It's going on the board.
Riffin,
What's riffin is going on the board.
Sorry, guys.
That's cool. It's cool. That is. I'm just glad the story was about
Because
you.
she wanted to know what she was stepping into. Because
Yeah.
she didn't want
Right,
to,
right.
riffing could mean
As well, you should.
Yeah, I really wanted to know
Makes
for
great
sure. Yes.
But this is
Straight riffing.
This is what you're stepping into. Okay, so Mitch. Previously, when we did the show in the domicile,
Previously on Straight Riffin'.
yonder, was in the living room. So me and the guests were on the couch. Mitch was across the way, and a
Right.
table, similar setup here. And what I would try to tell him is that everyone on the couch knew something about being black. You understood me? So anyone who came through was on the couch. We would they knew something, and in which Mitch could never grasp onto that part of himself. Even in his own home, you would never ever know the depths of blackness that any random arbitrary human being who just sat down for 2 hours would know. So when you say that you vouch for him, you understand. I got motherfuckers at the barricades right now, ready to go to war, son.
He was-
pop off. Romeo must die.
He was partially convinced that there was a term you used for it, some revolutionary term you used for it, that some okey doke I sort of tried to pull by making a studio and thereby getting away from the black couch versus me in a chair across from it dichotomy.
That's right up there. If I was Kanye West, I would believe in two things: the government gave AIDS to black people, and that you moved away because you wanted us.
You wanted a supreme position.
I believe in two things. Now, where my chains at?
It ain't right.
That ain't right.
But the question was never still answered. What is riffing?
Oh,
This is riffing.
well, it's rapid fire joking. It's a lot of like light natured ribbing, as we've been riffing this whole time.
Casual existential crises.
I like that
Yeah.
explanation. Light-weighted ribbing. Is that
Light natured ribbing.
Light
Ribbing.
natured
Sounds
ribbing.
like a condom. Huh?
I know.
Light natured ribbed.
Your definition of riffing would fold as a nice double entendre for a Trojan ad.
Well,
Well done,
that's the
Mitch.
way I
Very well
roll.
done.
So
Well,
you know.
let's
See,
riff then. I'm with it.
back
You've
in-
been
back-
riffing. See, you're going. You got this.
I'm a
In
pro
New
at
York,
riffing
in
already.
You got
Brooklyn,
this.
in Brooklyn, we don't say riffing. We would say snapping or cracking. I'm cracking jokes. I'm snapping on you. But riffing is more of a West Coast.
Snapping's, but snapping's a vaginal term.
Wait, hold on a second now. What is up with all the genitalia references going
Look,
on?
I'm just telling you.
riffing, snapping, and cracking. That's all.
I've heard of it.
First of all-
you're showing your age, babe.
Okay, ain't none of y'all jiving right now, and you
Shucking
best
and
not
jiving.
be.
Jive-ass
You
turkeys.
turkeys. Yeah,
Jive-ass
that's right.
suckers.
I really want to push to bring back turkey right now because people get like it's gone for so long that when you say it, people get so bamboozled that you, especially when like it has such malice behind it.
Bamboozled and
You throw
hornswoggled.
that jive ass.
Yeah.
turkey
Right,
behind
yeah.
and you
It
really
doesn't.
got
But see, it doesn't like once you introduce turkey
Excuse
because
me,
like
I
jive
speak
ass,
jive.
you're like it's fine, you know. Like no one expects the turkey to complete the trifecta because they like say something kind of innocent, right? You're like, hold on a second, you jive ass turkey. You're like, wait, why you
Did
mad?
you just
at
call
me?
me a turkey?
You were like, your face seems angry, but your words are very disconnected.
I'm feeling it.
See, let's bring it back.
I'm real brown.
Good times, good times. Let's see. So what's new in the world of the amazing Clarks? What can people look forward to coming up?
As I'm coughing, sorry about that.
All good, all good.
We are doing all kinds of great things. Anthony and I are out teaching the world how to love and date better. And, we're trying to disassemble some of these beliefs about there are no good people out there and help people to love and date and be happier and live happier lives. That's what we do. That's our thing.
We want everybody to be like us.
Happy in
We're
love.
madly in love after 20 years. You know it, Mitch. You know
I
the
do.
real thing when
I
you
do.
see it.
I know.
That's right. And you know how passionate we are about sharing with everybody
Indeed.
else.
Yep.
There you go. That's
As
all life
Carl
work.
Sagan says, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. Of course, he was talking about the universe and not people, but the sentiment
We're
still.
telling the
Gotta start
universe.
somewhere.
that.
Gotta
Yeah, we're
start
telling the
somewhere.
It's a
universe to
spectrum
trust me.
love, the spectrum of love and universe. You know,
Yeah.
You got Sagan on one end and the Clarks on the other, and boom, there you go.
you go.
So
Somewhere
how do you-
riffing is in the middle.
How do you take a jaded single person who's like, well, I've tried all the dating things. I've tried all the dating sites. I've gone on speed dates. I've gone on reality shows. My name's Mitch.
I was gonna shout
do
out
you-
to Richard Windling.
How do you you take a jaded person who wants it? This would not be me in this situation. So this is just a
the
fictional person
hypothetical
now.
has completely
A
unraveled.
fictional person.
Go get it.
Go for it, baby. That's all you, baby.
What's your first step? What's the first step? Is it like get them out of the jaded mindset, or find them somebody that they go like, oh, now
Let's
I'm excited.
deconstruct the psyche.
Let's do it. Let's do
Actually,
it.
the first step is actually sitting them down and assessing the situation, honestly
Hmm.
assessing it, and getting past all the BS. Because usually what they're saying at first, that's like the first layer lies. Then you strip that away, and then there's a second layer.
Sure.
And you keep stripping away till we get a complete picture of what's going on.
Sure.
And then you're working with the two of us, and both of us were really good. We're really fast, and so it's like a tag team. You can't win. You can't. You're gonna lose.
What's the
because while I'm
dynamic?
setting you up, she's reading you, and while she's reading you, I'm setting you up. So we go back and forth, back and forth.
Good cop, good cop.
It's a good cop, bad cop, good cop, but one more like
Anthony
aggressive cop,
does-
hyper aggressive cop.
Yeah,
that's
Anthony's we've been called what is it?
Rough.
No,
rough and
agitate and mitigate. Anthony agitates the situation, and
that's
then
good-
I mitigate. I'm very loving and
put
flowy and
agitate
calm.
There you go.
and
agitate and
mitigate.
mitigate.
Agitate
Good.
and mitigate. Yes.
That's
good.
So-
it's a good running back duo. Though. It's good. It's real solid. I would draft them in my fantasy game. I would do that.
I'm telling you, Your Honor, they were agitating.
Mitigate.
They was agitating me and mitigating me as to the furthermore.
What you gonna do, son? Someone roll up in your operation, just agitate and mitigate everything, son.
He's agitating. So I proceeded to mitigate.
Mitigating's my job, Mitch.
Well, because see, I have single female friends that they're like, oh, I'm just tired of the dating scene. It's too much work, this kind of thing. They're upset. They think that there's too many games. The only thing I had was like, if you're starting to date right now at the tail end of fuck season, you're in. I mean, it's bad news, right?
Oh,
for
fuck
onesies, for twosies.
I'm sure you've heard all about this from Mitch before.
I've told you about my theory on fuck season.
Holidays.
Run it by me again.
We'll
assuming-
go
I'm
we'll go into
assuming-
it in a moment.
I'm assuming it has something to do with holidays.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
It's all right. It's all right.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking maybe, kind of, sort of.
I was saying like
Go
that.
on.
The other thing that I was thinking, what I was realizing, what I was noticing is that the oft repeated phrase from women is like, it's so hard to date in this town, or it's hard to find a good man, and all this different stuff, or they're all cheaters or whatever have you. My only theory for that was that, in LA, and this is probably the same in New York, no matter what kind of person you're into, male or female, the best possible representation of them will walk past you about every 10 minutes.
Good point.
So,
You know what?
but I think that just made her more jaded because she's like, so I'll never keep a man because I'm not the best. I was like,
Actually, I had a really.
I'm just here
while
to
you were
agitate.
Talking, you inspired me, and I had a really good answer. But then I found myself staring at your long hair, and I was thinking, man, he's pretty. Man, damn, he's.
It looks
that
great. I love
That's
it.
a
Look at
great
it.
look on you, man. Good job.
Who are they to
Yeah.
tell us we're wrong just because we wear our hair long, Mitch?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, good look. Good look.
well, thanks. I'm still working on it.
I'm
Still growing it out. I'm still deciding how I feel.
Mitch and I's hair is about the same length. It would cover similar portions of our face. Don't let the
Oh.
compacted afro fool you. There.
Yes,
Real shagadelic.
I've
up
never
top.
seen a hair on Anthony's head. I'll
And
put
you
it that
never
way.
will.
and you never will.
No, I've shaved it since I was 22, 23, 25.
You're about 26.
Was that in the era when I feel like there was like a
Oh,
real?
wait, I have seen photos of hair on his head, and it's a good thing he shaved it because he would do some stuff with it.
I'm
What-
really
what's
glad
the
you
guy
guys-
creative.
He's talking about back in the days. You know,
Yeah.
you throw the parts in.
Yeah, well, no
Back in
doubt,
the New
son.
Jack City, baby.
Everybody had to have a part,
90s.
son.
New
That
Jack
was
City.
90s.
Before I even knew what the concept of a haircut was, my dad was taking me and like a part was in my head, and I was like, I don't even understand what you're doing to me, but like I know that if I don't have one, I'm getting ridiculed by everybody. So like I know that it's essential.
You
I'm
had,
not
you
the
had
cool
to have,
kid.
and you should have saw the purple suits that I had to go
Oh.
with, and a patent leather the shoes too.
I like that. I like that.
We're talking like
But
velour
I-
suits or
I
like
love them
No,
church
no,
anyway.
suits.
no, not the.
Okay.
Silk.
you see,
You
you
know
got
what?
bashful.
You
You
know
got
Not
what?
velour, silk, baby, silk.
I'm ashamed to admit it was kind of that Steve Harvey style.
yeah,
but that was back in
real
the day.
luxurious.
Yeah, but that was back. But back to your question. Now that I'm back, I turned away from your hair. Oh, okay. Now I can think again.
Shake out the mane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fidel Sassoon.
Well, you know what? With and you're absolutely right. We run into clients all the time, especially the women. And here's one, for example. There are no tall guys in LA. We actually had a young lady that came to us that believed that. She wanted to date a tall guy, and there were no tall guys in LA. Now,
What?
Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm going to
Not
break
the
it
LA
down.
I
to
live in.
Now, this is what happens with that.
You mean
This,
Long Beach?
this becomes their belief. Whatever their belief is when it comes to dating, that's what they're going to see.
Sure.
That's what you believe, that's what you're going to see. You're not a match to it. So meanwhile, she's sitting there telling us there's no tall guys in LA, and there's these tall guys all around her. And she's literally just turning away from them and being
Looking at her
distracted, looking at her
phone.
phone and everything else. Now, on one level, you might think, well, she's just not paying attention. But actually, it's much deeper than that. and I'm going to take you quantum, baby. Not quantum, I'm going to take you down to neuroscience. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on?
Quantum
is that
leap.
There's a part of our brain called reticular activation system. Okay. The human brain processes 400 billion bits of information per
I
second.
love when he gets all sciencey.
We are only consciously aware of 2,000 bits. So that part of our brain is like a filtering system. It filters in the things that are important to us, that matter to us emotionally, subconsciously.
Sure.
It filters out the things that don't matter. It's like you get a new car, and all of a sudden you're driving this new car, red car, whatever color it is, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's another car that looks like mine, another one like mine, another one. And everywhere you go, you see a car that looks like yours.
Sure.
But these cars all of a sudden just magically appear?
Nope.
No, they were always there, but they weren't on your on your list of things to filter in.
Sure.
So your reticular activation system was blocking them out. But then once you got that car, you had that emotional connection. Now 24 hours a day, your reticular activation system filters in those things that are important to you. So you're going over, it's going, look at this car over here. You think it's you looking at that car. It's your reticular activation system, your subconscious going, look, hey, there's my car. Look, another one. So it finds the things that matter to us, the things you believe. So
Then how come I've only seen one Selma Hayek?
one?
I've been
I
looking.
just saw three on the way over
Because
here.
you only believe
So,
you
yeah,
can
you only
see one.
believe that.
You only believe there's one. That's why.
Right. So the girl, so what she was doing was she was filtering out the tall guys. She was literally not seeing those guys. And so women do this, or people in general, they do that with their beliefs. We have another young lady. There are no men that want to get married in LA. There are no guys that
There's like
are straight
7
in
of
LA.
them. Like
Right.
7, 8 of them. They
Right.
hang out at the cantina on Sunset. I got business cards.
Waiting for their bride.
So that's why what we do.
Excuse
Two
me,
for
you
one
a bride?
margaritas
Excuse me,
on
you bride?
Tuesdays.
You a bride? No?
Right.
All right.
Right, so we assess them, and
Do I
then we
wanna,
find
right?
out we assess them, and then we find out all of their beliefs that,
Sure.
that are working against them, and then we recondition them to accept or to see new possibilities.
Yes.
It's a process. It's
New
definitely a
Selma
process.
Hayeks.
Yeah, so
But
you're-
it's deep brain activation. It's
Yes.
deep brain
Yes.
engagement.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
That's the
absolutely.
key.
So you were actually right with your theory that a person walks by every 10 minutes. There's probably more than that, but your theory is pretty good. But
Well,
they're just
thanks.
not. She's just not seeing them because she doesn't believe they
I
exist.
think it would probably be much easier to date in Arkansas. That's why they get married so young.
Yeah.
Because they don't see the best possible representation. You got like 3 people to choose from, and you're going
They
like
just go for
Well,
it.
there is. I mean,
one
there is the
tooth, 2
science
tooth,
behind
or
the
3
fact that
teeth. Pick one and then just
Too much
knock them up.
choice.
Yeah,
So-
It's
That's
overwhelming to
I
the
want to ask.
brain.
I want to ask you guys a question about dating because
Oh,
men
shit.
always want to hear. I mean, women always want to hear what men think. So
Hmm.
I want to ask you guys. You guys are early 30s. Is that your age demographic? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll go with that.
Late 20s, early 30s. but
Okay.
that's cool.
So do you guys?
You gonna
do-
sell me out like that, son? I got
Sorry,
warrants.
you want to be your
Right.
early 30s?
Again, it's early 30s.
I am
Hot-
62.
So here's my
Damn
question.
all you.
Do you all date online or do you meet people out and about? What's your preference?
Mitch, you can take this one first.
I like them coming to me. So I mean, if I'm
That's
out and
wait,
about,
hold on a second. You
I
sounded like a real
I
lockup answer
like-
right there.
I like
I like it when they come to me.
you know, when I
coming to
when I
my
open the
lair.
when I open the basement door, I'd like them to hear
swing
the
blade
bell
of you.
that says it's feeding time, and you know,
See you on
I'll
late
find them
night
online. But
MSNBC documentary.
I find them online a lot of times. But you know, yeah, when I'm out and about, you know this about me. I'm not a go up to strangers and talk to them kind of person.
I
Or
wonder
a-
what kind of shampoo he uses. I'm thinking aloud. My bad. Oh, my bad.
And we're back.
This is a fine tea tree oil from American Crew.
I said that out loud. I'm sorry. I said that out loud.
Yes.
Okay, this
bad,
is
my bad.
$6 from Ralph.
So you don't want the fifth
It is
family.
called Ralph Shampoo.
All in one. And conditioner.
You can find it by the shampoos that are too expensive for me. And other such bath time.
Thank you for answering, Mitch. That's interesting to me. So, because you're uncomfortable approaching women in person, you choose online dating.
Well, now it's not so much a discomfort as it is my greater snake theory. You see.
Okay.
Is this gonna be a really
Is
elongated
this
way
sexual?
to?
Is this going to get
No,
sexual?
not necessarily. Well,
It's a greater
whatever.
snake story. I mean,
I guess everything I say is there's like a
You
there's
guys
like a
made a bunch
sexual
of
thing in
words
the back.
sexual earlier that didn't have any sexual connotations, so we're already
Kind of
doomed.
how we roll. We've been
doomed.
You thought I was a perv. Whew.
you have no idea.
Well, like when I feed Shaitan, my snake, I don't bring her a mouse or a rat and throw it in her cage, right? Because obviously she's gonna bite my hand. If, you know, she's gonna see the cage open and she's gonna go, "Hey, feeding time." I'm just gonna snap anything that comes into my cage right now. That's bad news. I don't do that. What I do is I take a rat and I put it in the tub, and then I take Shaitan and I put her in the tub. And now Shaitan doesn't just get in the tub, see a rat, and start running at it. No, she just chills back. They call them a ball python because they ball up, and she balls up, and every single time a rat's like, "Hey, a new friend," and the rat comes up and will kiss her on the mouth, and that's when their neck breaks.
Okay, so you just go throw the snake in your bathtub, right?
Right.
And that's like you ain't got no protection. And I'm trying to.
I got a solid oak door.
I'm trying to say, logistically speaking, right? You just got a bathtub with a snake in it. So what is
She's only
stopping?
6 feet.
Nah, son. What is stopping the snake from getting out the bathtub
yeah.
and murder from then commencing?
That's a long way.
Son, you ain't answering the question, B.
What stops her?
Yeah, you got some. You got what? What kind of fucking analytics
She's
you got
not
set up?
hungry for me. She's hungry for the
ain't
rat.
Talking. You gonna get. You gonna get. Oh, son.
How long
I
does
ain't
this
never-
take? Does it take a long time? Do you leave her in there overnight and they
No,
do their thing,
no,
or
no,
like?
no. The
Right.
swallowing does take a good hour, but the
So you just got a snake in your bathtub for an hour.
but she's busy. But I close the door, give her some privacy. You know. I play this fun. It's like turn off the lights. So there's this fun view.
I
Anyway,
wonder if it sells some blow.
I already told you it's American Crew tea tree oil, and then it's L'Oreal silk conditioner.
you crazy.
So
And then I use some after product to give it a
Wait, now
gloss
hold
and
on a second.
sheen.
after
How you
product-
gonna have 3 more fucking ingredients for your hair every time he gonna mention something, dude? You're like the worst info. It's like a Price is Right fucking showcase or something right now.
After product. I
Right?
think he made that up.
Yo,
After product.
son,
That's what they're calling it these days.
you are like a fuck. You.
My hair, like when I get the conditioner, it gets too like it starts to curl and
It's
shit.
like
It
you
doesn't.
and a
I'm looking
fucking-
for like a kind of a greasy look, so I use a variety of products
You
to
need
give
to
it a.
go get on that
And then he
80s.
finishes up with the after product.
Yeah, right. That Jerry curl. You
I like- I
you and a
didn't- I
Jerry
forgot
curl.
that it was called
okay,
After
Fee,
Product.
when I go to bed, I put my shower cap on, right? And
black cap.
Fee, when I go to the water park, I be wearing the same shower cap because I like to slide, but I ain't gonna fuck my do up. Know what I mean?
Go ahead and tie that back behind the.
I used to. That used to be
Anyway,
my favorite
so
thing.
that
Thank
would
you.
be
Maybe
the.
it won't distract Anthony anymore since you pulled your hair
He's
back.
hoping. I don't know.
It's gonna
I
escape.
could put a fucking hat on if I
Okay,
need
Fee,
to.
you think you gonna restrict me, but all that Vidal Sassoon is gonna make me flick, and I'm gonna slide past your headphone.
Now, see, what I was gonna say is I have
It's gonna get real.
Nice.
when she sheds and there's not like enough moisture or whatever have you. Sometimes an eye cap will stay on. So it's been times where she can't see so well and she's kind of on blind faith or whatever. And I've seen her just jump and just try to attack anything that's.
You're talking about
around
your
her.
snake, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about your snake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about the snake.
Not
and
a
so
snake,
she'll just kind
a
of.
snake.
She'll kind of.
Talking about that snake in your bathtub. Okay.
But how
That's
does
what I'm
this-
talking about.
But how does all this help get you laid, my man? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hold on, I'm getting to that. So I would have been a lot quicker had we not. All right.
Worked on his
So
hair.
if she's partially blind and she's just kind of attacking, she'll smack her head against the side of the tub. But she'll never get the rat. It only works if the rat comes to her, and I think that's a good plan. I'm gonna stick with that.
In conclusion,
so you're
Mitch
gonna
is a
wait
snake
in
a
your
bathtub.
bathtub
Wait in
for
a
women to
bathtub.
just come to you.
Then I snap the neck.
Then you
Yeah.
gonna throw a rat on- then you
Get
gonna
it
throw a
out.
rat on her ass. Huh?
Yeah.
Fucking
and then I
real
snap the
logic.
neck.
Yeah.
That's
Come
exactly
on.
how that goes.
It's foolproof.
Yes, exactly.
Way
That's.
back in the
See, that's-
cut.
That'll work. I can see that
Men, there
working.
you have it. Just wait in your
Except
bathtub.
one thing Mitch has the
You
snake
know how it is.
doesn't
Like
is the hair.
there's
He
a
just
certain
dangles it.
there's a
Here.
certain like if they come to me and they're talking to me, then there's that certain like that trepidation thing where they're like, well, fine, I'll talk to this guy. You know what I mean? He's not going to talk to me, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's
Here
always
comes
exciting.
Mitch. Run, bitches, run! Here comes Mitch.
Yeah, right. I would like it if, like one rat like escaped, like in like every serial killer movie, like the one girl gets away, and then like the next rat's coming, she just like hides out. She's like, no, it's a trap. Don't kiss him. He's gonna eat your fucking face. Gonna break your neck. Get out of here, bitch. It's a fucking bathtub massacre waiting to happen. It's an ambush.
You can tell because he's slamming his head against the
Right?
side of the
Yeah,
bathtub.
right. Don't be fooled by them slimy hairlocks. This ain't no fucking Tom and Jerry, bitch. Get out of here.
It's like the Romans and the Christians. It's a battle arena. There's an audience.
Run for your life.
Don't get stuck in his after product.
What is your
Watch out for the soul glow. Watch out. Soul glow in you. Baby. Just let your soul. It's a snake.
Oh, wow.
Soul glow.
So,
Let it all so
so let me ask you this:
All right.
What's your cat doing while all this stuff is going on. There.
Very curious. He's always
Yeah,
like,
right?
what's going on in there?
Rat and snake.
You know him. He's a dumb cat.
You were
Like,
gonna
he's not
fucking-
very intelligent when it comes to like self-preservation. So he's like, "What are you doing in there?"
Can I
Like,
just-
I'm always
Can I
like,
kiss,
"Push
can I
it."
kiss
No.
him too?
Yeah,
I would like
he
to
fucking would.
to
believe
share
me.
this with people who know Mitch very well. One of my greatest fears has always been the fact that at some point,
By the way, I'm
given
gonna need a soda.
given all these things we've talked about with Mitch and his living residence and the snakes and the rats and the
It's not like I have
cats.
rats.
Hush, Mitch. My greatest fear is coming over to visit
Food.
Mitch for like an episode of the podcast one day, or like to like edit some stuff or whatever, and like I just walk into a real life CSI episode. You know what I mean? Where like, it's like a fucking like him like passed out, like a body is there, like some random girl is passed out. There's a snake in the bathtub, like eating a rat. Like her phone is just ringing, and like she told her friend that was the residence, and the cops get there, and it's just like me hanging out in the living room. They're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I swear to God, listen to the podcast, baby. Please believe me. I'm on your team."
Apparently, he snuck in and hung up pictures of himself everywhere. Apparently,
I'm so
one where he
afraid.
dressed up like James Brown and put it in the studio.
I recognize you. You've been performing since the 70s. No, it's not me. His hair looks more like that than
That's
mine.
hilarious.
That's what you'd look like if you're going, no, believe me.
That's me. What you can't tell in the James Brown photo is his hands are handcuffed.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
being let out of the way. Being like, it was Mooney.
Nice outfit.
Yeah,
I like
good
it a
times.
lot.
Good times.
That's
Good times.
Matches the
Hilarious.
wallpaper.
Yeah, indeed.
So you are.
Yeah, so
Your
love-
turn.
So love is grand, yeah, like we were saying. Love is a
Yeah,
beautiful thing,
yeah,
man.
it
It's
is.
like-
It's a wonderful thing.
Rats and
Yeah,
snakes.
rats and
Yeah, it's like rats and snakes. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
Yeah, snake kisses and
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like
very
to.
good.
I don't want to impose myself on people. You know,
Yes.
I'm not going to go up and go like, "Hey, have I got a curse for you?"
Well,
Me.
Would you
Yeah.
mind?
So I'd prefer, like, if they're going to make the mistake, they have to start. They have to make the first step.
Would you
Fair
mind
point.
if I don't use your snake technique?
Or we never bring it up again.
Would you mind?
I mean, I'll be a little offended, but you've got a method that works for you,
Cool.
and
Stick with your rhythm.
Hey,
you know,
that's
I don't want to. I'm not here to get in the way of that.
Way to be a pal, Mitch.
There you go. That's why we boys, Mitch. That's why we get it. We hit.
I'm your cracker. I get it.
You know what? I
Never.
just gotta say, Mitch has never had a problem getting girls. I've known Mitch for a long time. He's never had a problem getting girls. I
That's
didn't
true.
know about
True.
this snake and rat routine
My
that he
face turning
does.
red here.
But he's always been able to pull chicks, and I think it's because he's funny, and you know,
helps, funny helps. Yeah.
and girls like to laugh, and so he gets away with that. I would go back to the comedy Mitch to pull him versus the snake. And the
In
rat
conclusion, abandon ye snake and adopt ye comedy.
routine. That's our advice.
See, the difference is I don't snap necks. I tell jokes.
That's
So
right.
the rat comes up and it's like, "Can we be friends?" I'm like, "Hey, how many strippers does it take to, whatever?" And then you move along.
You still dating strippers?
I was just
Okay.
no. I was telling a joke.
Oh,
You
wait,
see,
I
it's,
love, wait, hold on a second. She snapped around so quick. I was prison shake style, so she just walked by in the lunchroom, just pow, pow, just dropped it. So like, you still date strippers? Oh, I'm gonna take a drink. I'm gonna
Hold
take
on.
a drink.
Let's be fair.
Take a drink.
When
So,
the-
aired it out, son.
When
Drop
the-
a fucking siren on
I
it.
talked about this on the show. When
Man
I
down! Man down! Man down!
that was
Pimp
so,
down!
That
Pimp
was,
down!
that was so cold, son.
get
Oh.
on up. No, hold on. What's funny about that? What's funny about that is because it's true,
Oh,
but
exactly. I'm not making stuff up.
I'm not.
That's why
I know.
it's so cold.
But it's when I met the two of you, I was dating a girl who was not a stripper when I met her. I've talked about this on the show. She
Yes.
became a stripper while I was dating her.
The prophecy, it fulfills itself.
Fucking telling you. And that's when I met the two of you.
Yes.
So yes, that was the last stripper I ever dated.
Really? Yeah. Huh, very cool. Very cool.
I mean, depending on how you define dating.
Okay, see? Wow, son. You're going to get a little case of Romnesia right now. son.
Not the Romnesia.
Good God, not at all.
Oh, not at all.
No,
not
I've
at all.
held this position for some time.
I'm sure your stripper acquaintances would back you up on that test.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of stripper
Hey.
acquaintances.
Strippers need love too. Hey,
I'm not
hey,
saying
hey.
nothing. I'm
And
just
tips.
saying.
I just look. I don't know. I'm tricky with the word date because everybody's got a different definition. What do you guys call date?
Very
Well,
interesting.
very good point. Way to
Yeah,
bring it
I want to
back.
know your definition of dating. Please
Good
tell.
volley, Mitch.
That's what I haven't.
tell.
I've had trouble defining that.
Well,
Oh,
the
okay.
reason why we say we're
If
both
you
looking
go
at
on a few dates, quote unquote, however that's defined, like movie, dinner,
Right.
fucking in the back of a truck, whatever it is.
Okay, that's
is that
interesting.
like every time you hang out, you're on a date, and then if you do that more than 3 or 4 times, you're dating, or how's that work?
You know what? One thing that we've done is that, especially with our female clients, they come to us and basically they hate dating. I hate dating, but I want to find that guy. I want to find my future husband, my soulmate.
I hate
But
working, but I
dating.
want to be a millionaire.
Yes,
I get it.
Yes. I hate pissing on myself, but I'm too tired to get up to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? You got to kind of work it out.
Preach on, brother. Been there.
Frank,
Been there.
Assessment
Go
of dating. No, you
One
know
of these
what?
things don't fit.
Yeah, no, that's a great SAT question.
One of these things is not like the other.
It's that damn hand.
Exactly.
That is how we need to teach the kids. Listen, do you want to just piss
Bring
on
me
yourself
my hat.
all the time, huh? Or you gonna get up and go to the restroom? Like, stop fucking
Or do
dating
you
all
wanna
these
go on a
losers,
date?
right? Stop dabbling in all these losers and pissing in your hands.
There you go.
Hines.
So, we're back.
Are we though?
So the way it works is what we tell them to do. Because if you hate dating, you're never going to be good at dating, and you're going to always go into resistance and something.
Sure.
You always find something to complain about to always have a horrible date.
Sure.
But so what we do with our clients is that we tell them to stop dating. Stop dating. Now that doesn't mean stop going out and meeting people. Here's the difference. When we say dating comes with a whole bunch of BS, a whole bunch of rituals
Stigma.
and protocols, and he's supposed to act like this,
Sure.
you're supposed to act like this, and so it's a game. And so
paid?
nobody's being themselves, and so nobody's really having a good
Yeah, who
time.
does
So
pay?
the key is to get rid of the whole dating concept and just meet people. Just go out and create friendships. Might be friendships with benefits or whatever, but just friendships. Just so when you go into it going, I'm just meeting somebody like a friend. And if something happens, something happens. But I'm going to be me, 110%, regardless if they like it or not. I'm going to stay true to my brand. And that's a big thing. You got to stay true to your brand.
Sure,
You don't waver.
sure.
Whatever you are, be a beacon for your brand. Coca-Cola stands there and goes, "We're Coke. We're Coke." And people come
I'm
up and
a
go,
snake.
"Hey, can I have some Dr. Pepper?" And you go, "Get the hell out of here. I have no Dr. Pepper for you. I'm Coke." And they go, "I'm not going to change. I'm Coke. Can you be 7-Up? No, I'm not going to be 7-Up. I'm Dr.
Those are all my subsidiaries. Go
I
over
was
there.
gonna say,
Go
like,
over there. But
they're all part of the Coke brand.
I
I'm gonna
own
bring it
it.
back.
Probably go to Mountain Dew
I'm
next
not.
time. But all right, go ahead.
Because
that's a Pepsi
eventually
product.
somebody's going to come along and
RC.
going, "I'm looking for your brand."
Yeah.
And so stay true
So you're
to your
saying the
brand.
rat will find the snake eventually. See, this is all working out.
In all
See, I
honesty,
got
If, that,
this.
In
if
all
that's
honesty,
your
it's true.
brand,
That's
you
your brand,
will
it's
you
true.
will attract women that want to
Right.
pursue
But,
you.
but
that are
what
more
happens
aggressive.
when we play that whole dating game?
Sure.
It's like, I'm going to be who you want me to be. I'm going to keep changing and being something different. And you're doing that too
Sure,
because I want to
sure.
impress you and I want to look good. And so get away from that whole dating concept. Throw it out and just meet
We call
people.
them get-togethers.
Get-togethers, make
Just get together.
friendships. Be
Just
yourself.
I knew
getting
there was going to
together.
be a new term coming. I was like, what's
Yeah.
the new one? What do you guys?
You
All right,
just
that's
when
fine.
you just get together with someone, there's no
Sure.
pressure. You can just get to know them. You can become friends with them because the best relationships are people that you become friends with without an agenda, without trying to make something happen, without really working on an outcome.
Sure.
Because that puts pressure on both people.
Sure.
And Anthony and I were friends when we first met. We were hanging out. We were having a great time, and we fell in love with
We
each
did
other.
not want to date.
Yeah.
We're dating. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. And I want you to be you. You be you. And let's take it from there. If it works out, great. If nothing happens, we just have a little fun time with us. Great. But just play it by ear. So we stay true to our brand. And here we are. 20 plus years
I can
later.
see women getting frustrated because again, it's like do the online thing, and I talk to a lot of people, and I'll go on just dates, just kind of like we'll go out for drinks, whatever you want to call it. And so I have a lot of these conversations where they'll just open up about their experiences on OkCupid, which is fascinating stories. And I almost feel bad because it's like their bad date stories are just they run the gamut. You know what I mean? It's like then we went back to his parents' house, and like we had to walk past his mom and his dad watching TV in the living room to his bedroom, and that kind of thing. And all just used condoms strung on the wall and whatever have you.
Well, that is terrible.
Yeah,
What the
that's
hell?
what I'm saying. Who does this kind of
Sounds like
shit?
somebody who'd have a snake in their bathroom.
That is a murder.
No.
Scary.
But it's I've only really been on like one bad date, and I was the bad date. Like it was shortly after the last girlfriend, and it was when I got into an argument with Nad and hit my old eyebrow piercing, and so I had the scarring and I had the stitches still in. And I met up with her and I said, listen, I got this scar, so it's a little funky right now and whatever. And she was like, no, I like scars. I'm like, I'm my kind of girl. Okay. So we met up and we were just hanging out and chilling. And then Nad showed up. And Nad, he literally walked up to the two of us. He looked at her and he goes, "Hey, how do you like my handiwork?" And that was like one of those like why the because he had apologized profusely for like a week, and then to sort of like it drove me nuts. I was like, dude, the fuck are you doing? And we got into a bit of an argument, and then he walked away, and I was like, I'm sorry, that was the. She goes, clearly you're not over whatever that was, and just walked away. And I was like, okay, well, then. So I was the bad date.
That's not that bad of a date. You got in a fight.
I know.
It's kind of manly.
But it was like, because it was like she didn't know that the argument came from that I was really drunk that night after getting in a fight with the ex. And then she went out to be with her new boyfriend, and I was like, I'm just going to drink some more. And then I broke a bottle, and I was trying to clean it, and that's how Nat and I started fighting. Yeah. So he referenced that during our thing, and so she was like, clearly you're not over her. And I was like, that's not even the case. I'm pissed at him for rubbing it in just now. Anyway.
I wonder what kind of conditioner he uses.
I already told you. It's a L'Oreal Silk Smooth Conditioner.
There was this tribe in the rainforest, like 50,000 years ago. They've been on this real.
I do not use products, mostly fruits and berries and things. I've been growing this since birth.
So, like, if you take the sap and you mix it with this tree
Bring on
frog,
the rose petals.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. So, but anyway, my point
still
is
feels
that
like concrete.
the amount of times that I've seen women on OkCupid just disable their account, come back 6 months later, turn it back on for a few months, disable it again. It's this weird, frustrating, and then you can see what's going on in their life by what they put in their about me.
Yeah.
It's usually a lot of disclaimers, and you'll see like, "Stop sending me dick pics." Things like
that is so fucking depressing.
You can tell what's going on.
Yeah, and you're sitting there going like, that's got to be rough. Like every girl who goes on there that even mentions something that can be taken sexually is going to get dick pics, and you're like,
I just don't even understand why that is
I
appealing.
feel bad for him. I feel bad.
I don't get the appeal from the male perspective as being like, I'm just gonna send out my
Have
dick.
we talked about this?
We have, bro, and
It's
like I'm
this,
just
it's
saying.
this.
No, I get it. No,
basic.
Mitch, I get it. No,
All
look,
right,
I
'cause
get
I'll
it.
say it.
I get it,
All
but
right.
it's it makes no sense. Do you understand? You know how you get something, but you're like, it's
still
so
doesn't make
fucking.
sense.
It's like the most moronic thing. Like I fundamentally understand everything about it.
The idea is, I like looking at naked bitches,
Yeah, but
so
it's
surely
so-
they like looking at my dick, which is
Right,
wrong.
right.
And so the problem
And
is, like, they
okay,
just
see,
never
but you
took
hear
the
that?
time
You
to
hear
realize that.
You hear that
Yeah.
though? You hear that
Yeah.
wrong part? So
Yeah,
like,
it's
at
wrong.
some
Yeah.
point, what I'm saying is like there's gonna be a corrective in the curve, but it never comes, son. Like it's
Wait,
just
wait,
an
I
unending
have a-
stream of dick pics and like more women being like, stop, and dudes is like, what? Keep them coming. And I'm just wondering when the correction happens in the great historical arc of the universe.
Here's
son.
the problem. Here's the
Because
problem.
otherwise, women are gonna drown in a tsunami of unrequited dick pics, son. It needs to end. Stay a Pete is coming. It's like a fucking
I will
sitcom
tell you why
in the
this is an uphill
90s.
battle. Let me tell you why
No,
this is.
it's not uphill battle. You know what
Hold
it is?
on. I'm explaining why this is.
You ain't
The
gonna
reason this is
explain
an uphill
nothing.
battle is, and I think Melody will agree with me on this. The uphill battle is that as a guy, naked chicks, awesome toss. Like, all right, I'm good. I don't need to know her name. I don't need to know what she does for a living. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Naked chick, awesome.
It's on.
Right? For females, if they're attracted to a dude emotionally, they fucking love looking at his dick. They're like, hell yes.
Right.
Awesome. I'm weighing. I want to be all up about that dick. They're into it. Good times. And if they're like apart for a week, he could snap a quick Skype shot of the balls, and she's like, want to lick them. So in this guy's life, it has happened that he sent a dick pic to a
Sweet
girl who was
Moses.
into him, and she was like, yeah, send more of those. And in his head, because he's not paying attention, he thinks bitches like dick pics.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the guy who
Listen.
sends dick pics. Am I
Can
am
I-
I on this?
Can I?
Hold on. I want them to weigh in.
Babe, you can
Melody,
dick
Melody,
pics.
what do you say?
I personally don't like dick pics.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna have to say it.
That's fair.
I think my husband has a lovely penis.
Right.
I don't need to see pictures of it.
I'm not saying you do.
I have mental pictures of
I
it.
get it. But then there's a certain.
I
You're
love you too.
welcome.
So
Aw.
loved.
Maybe you can start sending me dick pics, honey. Mitch made me see the light.
No, I want to give you the real thing. Okay. No
Much
pics.
better.
No,
Wow.
please.
I probably shouldn't have made it specifically about dick pics. I just meant seeing his dick. You get like it's a turn on. Yes.
Yes,
That's what I mean.
Women actually do get turned on by men's male parts that
Yeah,
they're into.
especially
That they're
if that's
into.
the
Yeah,
man that you're
but it's
into.
weird because if they're not into the guy, it's like disgusting. Which, as a dude, it's really hard for me to grasp that concept. But I just know it happens.
Well, you know what? If it's a double standard across the board. If you're a guy that's good looking, it's a whole different game than if you're not an attractive
That's
guy.
true.
So, for example,
Yeah, that's true. Deal
when
breakers
chicks
are
are
different.
playing, you know, I hate it when guys come up to me and try to hit on me and be like, "Hey, babe, what's your name? What's your name?" They get pissed me off. But if he's good looking, ooh,
They
girl,
love
yeah, guys are on
Yeah.
me. I'm looking good and this and that. So it's a little double standard if you're a good looking guy. You can't get away with a
Step
lot
one,
more.
be attractive.
And if you're
Step two,
if you're
don't be
attractive,
unattractive. Yeah.
and you're a guy that knows how to handle your business, knows how to put it down in the bedroom, those two combinations, you'll get away with a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole
Okay.
And all the rules go out the window. You know, all the little. He has to call me within 3 days of the first date, or meeting me and ask me out on a date. He asked me.
Is
on
that what I've been doing
three,
wrong?
Three consecutive
Yes.
dates, but they all have a different number in their head of what a guy is supposed to do to show them that he likes them. But what
Yeah.
Anthony said is true. All of those rules go right out the window if they think he's hot.
Right.
It does. He
It's
can
not
do whatever he
politically
wants if
correct,
they think he's
but-
hot.
But it's the truth. It's a double. It's a double.
That's well,
And the
yeah.
Did you
reason
guys know
why is
that?
because
Did you guys know that? Is
the-
that
the
news
hot-
to you?
No, it's just
for
the
women.
more it's said out loud, the
Oh, it's supposed to be a secret, man.
no, it's
What
just
It's supposed to be a secret. What's a secret?
Yeah.
no, it's not. No,
What's a
no,
secret?
no.
I missed something.
If the
I-
guy's,
I'm-
if the guy's good looking to her,
oh.
It's not that
he
it's,
can get away
it's
with it.
just.
Now you can get away.
Mitch and I have very differing perspectives on this entire
let's-
circus. So
When
that's-
it comes
let's
to
go.
like dating and such, dating
Right.
and sex things,
Right.
Teddy's on the couch. I'm in the chair across the room.
I don't even know if I'm in the cow. I don't even know. I don't know if that's the
this
best.
sounds interesting.
Teddy
Makes it
lives
sound like
where-
we're in a swingers club right now.
let's-
So I don't know
let's
if I'm
dig
really.
into
Yeah,
this.
All
I
right,
really don't know if
uh,
we're
Well,
swinging
let's
the
dig.
So
best.
what
Let's
happens
dig.
on the
I
couch,
really
Teddy?
think it's-
So
No, I'm sorry.
Hold
That was
on.
probably the wrong place. to
Mitch,
put
you
it.
can go ahead.
so let's-
We are on
Let's
we are on opposite sides of the wall.
Okay, how so?
Is
Please
this like a
explain.
glory hole reference?
No, I'm sorry. It's like tennis, let's say. And there's a net.
You are
Just checking.
killing our
Just
momentum
checking.
right now.
Just checking.
So there's balls involved, is what you're saying.
Just checking it.
I was just thinking that was going to be his next thing. Hold on a minute.
What's that hole in? I can't see it.
You got a better analogy? We're polar opposites, sort of.
Okay,
on
that
regards,
makes sense.
when it comes to like
Wow,
dating.
I
sex.
can't believe
Let us
that
know.
was
Let-
your third
let's-
take,
let's-
right?
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make this happen.
Oh shit!
What's going on here?
Oh, he's gonna tell you he's protecting his life. So
No, that's
We'll
not
get
what
it.
I'm gonna say at all. That's not what I'm saying. I guess
Protect my life!
this is my thing. Where a lot of the things that appeal to Mitch about coitus, if
utterly
you will.
disgust Teddy.
No, they don't disgust me, but it's the difference between Mitch will knowingly make an irrational decision in pursuit of said coitus,
Sure. Okay.
whereas I
I am.
that.
I am just a man.
I am steadfastly flabbergasted as I look around me in a land of people just drowning in idiocy in pursuit of a very superficial yet ultimately emotionally deteriorating experience. That's the difference between Mitch and I. So I'm not like
But that's where I'll disagree with you because I don't. It's not emotionally damaging.
I'm not talking about you, motherfucker. I'm talking about the rest of these motherfuckers.
Well, I don't feel like you're qualified to speak on their behalf.
I am. I see these motherfuckers on Twitter, son. These motherfuckers is worthless, son. They are just throwing it away. As Dave Chappelle once said, son, the market has just been flooded with pussy and dick pics, son. It's just been
Once again,
flooded.
I'm not that, but I get it. I guess.
Do you understand what I'm
Sorta.
saying, son?
So you're bothered by people having freedom to have sex?
It's
if
not,
they want
I'm
to?
not bothered by people having freedom to have sex is what I want to. What I'm saying is to watch people make knowingly illogical decisions that will have long-term life decision ramifications for them that they will then never fully accept and then go around perpetuating a cycle of blame and then bringing children into it. And then to watch that dysfunction be perpetuated culturally is utterly just, it's maddening. Do you understand? And the fact that it's so casual and it's so casually baked into every aspect of the culture, that is where Mitch and I differ in that sense that to watch people pursue it and just to watch people talk about it, I'm like, do you know that you know exactly where you're going to be in 5 years and it's gonna be fucking terrible, and you're gonna look to me as a friend to feel bad for you, and I'm not gonna feel no. If it was National Sympathy Day, you got no sympathy, son, because I done had like 18,000 conversations with your ass, and you ain't never changed nothing, you ain't never been nothing, you ain't never gonna do nothing. So why should I continue to invest in your failure when you don't even invest in your success?
Difficult Brown, words to live by.
Hey, I'm depressed. I'm fucking depressed.
That's-
I'm ready to go.
that would
home
be,
now. Come on, baby.
And
Let's
we're
get
out.
home.
Yeah.
This is not fun anymore.
Teddy has a magic sprinkling of depressed glitter that he sort of sprays about.
Depression dust.
Yeah.
We're gonna write Teddy's Magic Depression dust on the board.
There you go. Teddy brand depression dust.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. Good to know that.
It's all right. There's
I was thinking it was going to be
and-
Hope Obama.
I know. You don't talk about this on dates, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
he doesn't go on dates.
I have a girlfriend though,
Oh,
so
okay,
I am.
good.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a perspective on that. And I get what he's saying.
I understand.
And I understand. I don't agree, but I understand. Now, I look at it like this. Life is one big buffet, okay? Imagine every experience that you want is in this buffet. Now, good, bad, great ass, badass, half ass, everything you could imagine is in this buffet.
Sounds like a Cash Money album.
Okay.
Where the white women at?
That's in the buffet too, my friend. So where's the beef? That's in the buffet too, my friend. Okay. Stop it, Mitch. Just stop it. Just stop it.
Right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
We've
So
known you a
now,
long time.
here's this buffet with every experience, everything
That's
you could
fair.
want in it. Now, you're in line and somebody's in front of you.
Urine.
Now, somebody picks something out the buffet that you don't like. Or something's in the buffet that you don't like. And you sit there and go, okay, I like this, I like that. Put that on my plate. What's this? I don't like this. Get this out the buffet. This is wrong. I don't like this. Get this out the buffet. Call the manager. I'm pissed off. This is wrong. Who else agrees with me? And you get a group of people that get behind you and go, we agree too. This shouldn't be in a buffet. This is wrong. Take this out the buffet. We're pissed off. Now, here's the key. Don't take it out the buffet. Because that motherfucker behind you, he's going, hey,
Loves
excuse
it.
me. I want that. Please don't take that out. Just like you don't want somebody taking your shit out the buffet that you like. Because that's what you like. The key is if you don't like something in the buffet, just keep it moving, my friend. Put on the plate what you do like. Let those who want something else on the buffet have something different. If you don't like what's on the buffet, take your ass to Burger King. Okay? You can do whatever you want to do, but move it on.
have it
Let
your
everybody
way.
else have what they want. You can have what you want in the buffet. So that's all. I just want to throw my 2 cents in there. But I get what you're saying.
No, I mean that's fair.
get
No,
that
I
point.
mean I get that point as well. And I mean I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but I guess what I'm saying is the mentality that people go into the buffet with is not a constructive one.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's less of like I'm going to look around and see what options are before me and say, well, that's good. I enjoyed sampling that. I'm not going to do that again. So much as it's like people go into the buffet and they're like, what was that jump off that gave me food poisoning last week? I'm gonna eat all of that again.
Again, yes.
Right. But you
And
know
I
what?
feel like that's the and then they go back to the same buffet with the same poison food, and they just
But
gorge,
but
son.
they can't help it. They
Wait.
can't help it.
If I may, another analogy to the buffet point. I think
Some real
probably-
good buffet riffing right now. You want to know what riffing is? Riffing is buffet riffing.
Do this.
I think what you're
Go
what,
put buffet riffing on the board
what,
right
what
now.
one of the one of the things you're talking about is the person who goes to the buffet and just eyes bigger than the mouth. I'm gonna have some of this. I'm gonna put all this, and at the end,
bigger than the stomach.
they just got. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not a clever
You
man.
know how your eyes be bigger than your mouth and shit? You be an anomaly at Ripley's?
Believe it or not.
Go for
You
it.
know how people be having big eyes, little mouths, and they be going to buffets.
Real pretty
They
hair.
see so much they want to eat, but it
Fuck
won't
you and the
fit.
hair thing. Now you're just jealous. I know what this is.
You know what? When we saw that, we
Everything
first saw
is
your hair, we
bacon
were
and
like, yo,
puppies.
that looks good. Mel, we were both, you know, we look good like that, dog.
You know how you be shoving stuff in your retina because it's like another tongue for you to devour food and shit?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I heard that was a Total Recall remake.
Oh, excuse me. Wow, that was good. Please proceed.
Thank
I
you.
want to
Go
hear
ahead,
this
Mitch.
point.
Oh, I was just thinking that I think what you're also talking about is the people that will just go back to the buffet, and it's like they know they're not going to eat half the shit on the plate, but they'll go back and, you know, fill it up, and they got too much. and then they don't eat it all, and then somebody else doesn't get to have it because now that chicken has to go in the trash. Right. It's been on your plate.
See, I guess this is what I'm trying to express. Okay. I feel like there's a bridge missing.
Although, interesting note,
okay.
I watched this recently. This is a fascinating little side bit just from talking about buffets. Vegas buffets, as it turns out, all the food, that gets thrown away that you don't eat, whenever they're cleaning off the plates, gets put into these big, like oil truck kind of things and driven down the street to feed the pigs. That then they cut up and then put back in. It's a perfect circle.
It's recycling.
It's awesome.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the bacon you're eating had eaten the bacon that you ate last time.
Right.
Pretty awesome.
So actually, that's pretty good food for the pigs, man.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I want to address these people that are annoying that don't make changes. They can't help it. It's called learning. And we have a part of our brain that makes us do the same shit over and over again until we learn our lesson. And some people just take longer to learn.
Right. That's it's fair. And I guess that's what I'm trying to express is that I feel like there's a bridge missing between where I am stationed and where you two are stationed. You know what I mean? Like we've got to rendezvous our respective divisions.
Tear down this
because
wall.
I feel like that's what's going on is that there's a lesson to be learned, but and there's people waiting to teach the lesson. People who have experienced it and who are very good at putting it in a context that is relevant to people in whatever fashion they need.
Right.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And then but you gotta fucking get that horse to water. You know what I'm saying? I can't make him drink, but I gotta get him there first.
But
what if that horse is just galloping all through the fucking jungle? At some point, I might have to kill a horse. You know what I mean, son? I love horses, but you gotta die, son. I ain't gonna be chasing you through this fucking jungle, son. They got fucking spiders, got other random tribes shooting me with arrows and
How
shit.
about you just let him go? Let him run. Let him run wild.
My canvas was on the horse, my tents, my frying pans. I have utensils.
Take a dolphin, Teddy.
I got utilities, bitch. It's my kids too. I got kids to feed. I got warrants.
Okay.
I would love to let that horse go. I would love to get my Apache on.
That's my life.
Okay. Well, see, we don't. With us, when we get people, we will.
You're back, baby.
Right, I'm back.
Okay, good.
Okay, we will run across clients that
Oh, you sandbagged him, Mitch.
All right.
He was gonna build up.
we will run across clients every now and then that gives us problems. And if they do, we let them be. We are like vampires. We will only help you if you invite us in. If you do not invite us in, your ass is on your own. Wow. Do it your way.
Nope. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut it early.
I have two questions for both of you, Anthony and Melly, right now. Number one, where did you pick up this vampire pamphlet with these baller ass rules? Because that sounds like the best flea market of all time.
Oh, no, I got it from my girl, actually.
Is that
She got it from True Blood.
Yes.
Is it a True Blood
I
thing?
love-
Okay, I'm
I
not a
love
big True Blood fan. I was about to say
Blood.
that is like some real murderous, like 19th century Gilded Age shit. Like I'm fucking.
Well,
just,
actually, it's ancient vampire stuff. All vampire movies, you have to invite vampires in, or they can't come into your
if
house.
you go with the real, if you shake
Yeah.
off the old Twilight, 50 Shades of
If
Grey,
we go back, we go way
disco
back
ball,
to, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
to the nitty gritty. Okay.
And we feel like that. We're not going to go around going, "Hey, your relationship's not going good.
you
Let me
know,
help
and
you."
I feel like that's like with all kind of between both of our perspectives here is kind of what I'm saying is that you have to invite the evil in. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of like to take the buffet example again. Like I ran the buffet and I knew some dude just came into my buffet just knocking off fucking trays and shit and like peeing in wings and I'm like, come on, my man.
Not
It's-
peeing in wings.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
right.
If it's your buffet, that's a
But
different thing.
exactly. But if
Right.
if I know that you do that and I take no precautions and I just keep letting you in
Then
and letting you do that,
that's on you.
and I feel like that's the thing to go back to tie it in with the vampires though. That's where the tradition comes in is the idea that you
water,
have to
please.
let evil in. Which is what a lot of traditions and societies in is. It's not just that evil is some abstract thing, but that you have to allow it and enable it to have the ability to influence your
Right.
life.
So basically, it's like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him piss in it.
Yes.
Bottom line. And that's the same thing with our clients. We
yes.
can give you the advice. If you take it, that's on you. Our job is not to make you take the advice. Our job is just to provide you with the best guidance and advice that we can.
And the example, and
Exactly.
we're
Very
leading
true.
by example more than anything. We are here to be that brand, to be what people say that they want, so that they can see it and they can believe it and they can move towards it. We're not here to push them and pull them and force them to do what we want them to do. We're here to say, here's an example of what is possibility. 20 plus years together, madly in love, best friends, and that does exist because our culture right now doesn't believe that exists for the most part. Everybody's searching for something they don't even believe exists in the first place. So that's why they're acting out the way that they're acting out. It's like, it doesn't really exist. The world is ending. There's no more relationships. Let's screw everybody and just keep trying the same shit over and over again. And our approach is, this is something that you can obtain, and we know how to get you there. Come with us. If you want it, if you don't, do your thing. Do you, boo. Do you.
And the funny thing is, people, especially singles, they'll spend years dating sites, spending money at clubs, you name it. They make all this investment into finding this perfect partner. Then they find it, and most of them screw it up within a year.
Yeah.
I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it?
Yes.
That's the bottom line. So the
You were not ready for that, son. Put your black cap on. Put your black cap on. Synchronicity, son. Black Michael Keaton, what up?
You're thinking of multiplicity.
Damn! Damn!
Don't step to me with Michael Keaton
No,
movies.
no.
I know me some Michael Keaton.
That's why you on that side. You ain't never gonna be on your own couch. Physically or metaphorically.
You've now fucked up Michael Keaton movies twice.
And
Last
it's a
time it was
test.
Mr. Mom.
It's a test.
Fucking other thing.
It's a white man
It's a-
tripwire.
You know us white people love our Michael Keaton.
I'm putting Michael Keaton tripwire on the board right
Michael
now.
Keaton
son.
equals white people tripwire.
Michael Keaton equals
How
white
often
people.
would you say?
I
or
bet you watched White Noise, didn't you? You and like 18 people.
I wanted to. I did not.
You
I
are
did
from
not get around
Rochester,
to
New
it.
York. You watched White Noise. Probably saw it on some sort of white person red box that only you have in the suburbs. Gets a lot of Dick Van Dyke DVDs.
Listen, I get the Michael Keaton newsletter. All right.
I knew that was a. I knew it.
I learned the new Michael Keaton slang. He was in a show I was watching recently that
I love the idea.
Oh.
White people tripwire is the best thing that we can ever come with
that was-
culture
that
right
was
now.
pretty good.
That's too.
Yeah, that
that's
was pretty
great.
good.
Do you ever, and if so, how often would you say that you break up with a client where you go like, we cannot help you? Has that ever happened?
I don't say that
Where
we
somebody
ever-
will not get out of their own way enough to fucking move on, where you go,
I think that only one time a client has just said, I'm not ready for this. I know I'm not ready, so I'm not going to do what you guys are asking me to
talking
do.
about me again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that person actually came back when they were ready. So we don't break up with people. We just say, this is who we are, take it or leave it. I mean, this is what we do.
Ooh, that's gonna be my new tactic for the bitches.
Yeah, this is what we do.
I'm not gonna break up with you.
Listen, I'm not breaking up with you. This is just who I am. So when you're ready for more, you come on back.
You haven't heard that story about Anthony saying that to me when we first met?
I do recall that. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember
this
that.
is who
yeah.
I am. This is what I'm about. Either
When now? Okay, the way did this? Where
this is
did
who I am. This is what I like. This is what I don't like.
Now dig on this, turkey.
Job, turkey.
And I'm gonna get you, sucker.
I'm out of here.
Somewhere Isaac Hayes is just in the back on the bass. That's
Yes. Well, what she's talking about.
Wait, why is my? I feel like
You
there's
know
no.
what? I got some bass.
Oh, you turned off your mic. That's what happened. I think.
yeah.
No, you sure? Check it.
Check. Check. Try it again, baby.
Oops.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I don't
no,
know.
I didn't. Hey, listen.
Yeah, I did, maybe.
Hey,
what happened
where that
was-
bass come from?
Now I'm worried how long that's been off.
Just not used to having big black things in my face like this. It's not
Mandingo!
very manly. Not very manly.
Mandingo!
There you go.
Mount up.
Yeah. It's not encouraging me to
nice.
open up my mouth and speak.
I understand.
We were just
Okay.
joking. It's been a while since we've had a
Alright,
chance
so
to
I
reference.
can
Okay,
dig
so okay,
It's true.
alright.
Well, basically, what my sweetheart was talking about, honey.
Love you,
Love
baby.
you too.
That's how you know the story was real rough back in the day.
Yeah. Now, actually, here's the deal. What happened was, I was single at the time, and she was single, and I was dating a grip of chicks. I was even a male escort at the time. That's when I was professional male escort too.
Yeah.
And I was at the point where it was like, you know what? I'm gonna be real. I went through a marriage. My first marriage failed. I got married young. played the traditional game, did everything society said.
How old were you when you got married the first time?
23.
Okay.
It lasted for a whole 2 years, and after that, I realized, you know what, the traditional way sucked, and I was like, okay, I'm never gonna do it like that again. I'm gonna figure out my own game. I'm gonna figure out my own roadmap to romantic success. I got to create it through trial and error and just being true to my brand. And so we went on a date, our first date, and
Second date.
and we were sitting.
Just like the same way she shivved Mitch earlier, just bam, bam, suddenly just murdered.
Oh, she keeps me on point.
Just like an assassin.
I thought you knew. Go ahead, baby.
And she broke it off after she shanked me. She shanked me and broke it off.
You ain't never gonna find nothing.
There you go. And so basically,
Why does that man have internal bleeding? I don't know. I don't know.
right.
I ain't even know what a kidney is.
And so, guys, listen to this, all you guys out there, and women too. You could pay attention to this.
Oh, don't
So
worry, they
now,
listening.
What happened was, we had a conversation over a nice meal, and I sat her down, and I looked her dead in the eye, and I said, "Baby, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm feeling you. I like you a lot, and I'm hot for you. But I'm gonna keep it real. This is who I am. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a lot of chicks I'm seeing. I'm not trying to lock it down right now. I just want to have fun, enjoy my life. If things happen from there, great. If they don't happen, oh well. So you know what? I'm gonna run my program, date other people. I don't want you to question about me about who I'm dating. And likewise, you have the right to do that. I don't want to question about who you're dating. When we get together, we're gonna have a great ass time, have fun. Let's keep it like that. Let's take it from there. If it grows from there, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do you. You do you. If you like that, cool. If you don't, fuck you. Have a good life. No disrespect. But that's how I'm keeping it real. And so she stopped and looked at me.
And real it was kept. For then they went on to become the amazing clocks.
But wait, there was part two.
No, I know.
And then she looked at me.
Tune in next week
Part two.
Part two.
after Dragnet.
So she looked at me.
Last
and,
time.
And the whole point of this was just being real. No lying. You don't have to BS bullshit chicks. Keep it real. Keep it honest. See, they're gonna be like, okay, I respect that. And that's what I want too in a buffet. So I'm down for that. Or they're gonna be like, you know what? That's not what I want in a buffet. Let me move on to something else. Get out here. And that's
All
cool.
romance can be boiled down to a buffet. That's
right.
It is one golden corral for the taking of everybody.
We'd like to remind you that this program is being brought to you by Rio's Buffet in Las Vegas Casino. Stop by the buffet. It's wonderful. Now, back to you. Part two.
And leave the shit in the buffet you don't like.
And Vidal Sassoon.
Be sure to check out
damn
our
it, all the
new
time.
dessert platters. as
Also,
well.
there's Vidal Sassoon for lovely silky hair that you really feel. All right.
But honestly,
Wait. So then I turned around and I looked at her. And then she gave me, tell me what you said at that point.
And so I just looked at him and I said, I get it. This is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I could put up with. This is what I can't put up with. Either take it or leave it. Either you like it or fuck you. No disrespect. This is who I am. But I get it. You know,
And she said that to me, and I was like, fuck me? What? I like
Did
that.
she lay
I
out
like
like
you.
Did
I
you lay
like
out
you.
the same like
Yeah.
list
Yeah,
of
she had
terms
her
of
list.
things?
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
had
was
my
your
own.
whole like?
I had my own terms. Don't lie to me. If
Yep.
you're gonna be with somebody else, be honest that you're with somebody else. I don't really care. We're
We're
seeing each other.
Yes,
You're
yes.
not my
No
husband.
commitment.
I've been
We're not
married.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
I'm not trying to
So
change
you both were still.
We
you
were in
both
the
had-
same place.
And real it was kept in kind.
Yes. And I wanted to have sex with him. He's hot. I just was like, I just want to get to know you. I want to have sex with you. I'm enjoying your vibe.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with you. And we don't have to make anything else happen. But that's where I was at in my life. And here's something
And that's
else
what
that
I wanted.
recognized.
I wanted that. A woman that thought like I thought.
Yes.
And so,
And what I recognized and what a lot of women today don't recognize, if a guy has got it like that, he's going to have lots of women after him. I knew he had a lot of women after him because he was all that. I had a lot of guys pursuing me, so why wouldn't he? And who am I to tell him to stop until I'm ready to stop? And so I think we came to the table so extremely honest that that's where we had to go from there. That's how we started our relationship. So that's how we've grown our relationship. And to this day, we're that honest with each other. We say the real with each other. We don't hold back.
there we go.
I mean, there's a strong avoidance, I feel like, for a lot of people when it comes to actual issues of substance in a lot of relationships.
Definitely.
Precisely. Because you end up fighting over things that have, it's like proxy wars almost. You know, they have no bearing to any actual emotional things in your life. They've got no bearing on the real sort of infrastructural things of your relationship, but you're fighting over things very passionately, and it's just, you're like going all out, and it comes to represent all the things that you've just filed away as like, well, I'm not, because I know for like at least from the male perspective, what I hear from a lot of guys is like you have someone that you like a lot. And it's the sense of like, well, I really like her, but then I gotta like try and shit, and then I gotta like maintain effort, and like that is a big thing. So I'm just gonna keep doing my ratchet game, and I'm going to stay away from that regard. And then
That works usually for a while.
right, but I'm saying that then when you eventually find someone that you're willing to be like, okay, like I'm gonna try and get in, then that whole, it's kind of like you talked about before, the self-fulfilling prophecy of like, well, now I gotta like try and shit because you've not really worked those muscles out. You've never stimulated that part of your brain.
Right.
You've never really practiced that level of self-discipline. And all of a sudden, when you find yourself in new, unfamiliar terrain, you fall back on old instincts, and that's when you be fucking up somebody else's buffet. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Exactly.
But you know what? But you
Don't piss on the chicken wings, people.
No
If you go to Mitch's buffet, you can piss on anything you want to as long as you don't piss on the chicken wings.
Well, now I didn't say that.
Well, you basically just said it enough times.
I was just saying, don't.
He's very protective of
The
his
cinnamon
wings.
rolls is all you can pee on, okay? Damn,
Oh, yeah,
son.
yeah.
This
Fuck
is
the
the
cinnamon. I
21st
hate-
century.
Cinnabon, pee all over it.
I'm
sorry,
hilarious. You're hilarious.
Bad for you anyway.
You're saying.
Well, what we found is that people fall into that whole way of building relationships. First of all, sucks. Horrible. That whole traditional thing. It was not okay. Everybody's walking around today, and they want these amazing, happy, satisfying, fulfilling, wonderful, loving relationships.
Right. When you say traditional, I'm sure the two of you have a very particular definition of what you are referring to by that. And I think it's a really good use of term because Mitch knows and on a political spectrum, not to go into that regard, but when I talk about media structures, and instead of using terms like mainstream media, I use traditional media to to symbolize and to rhetorically indicate that it is a very archaic model, and the institution needs to evolve to adapt to current times.
Absolutely.
So that's why I like the fact that you use traditional, but
very antiquated.
Right, exactly. So I know that using traditional means some very particular things whenever you get the chance to expound on that. So what is sort of the foundation of your use of traditional in terms of dating, relationships, courting, if you will? If I was gonna court a bitch.
After you done wooing her,
I have wooed a lady, now I'm gonna court a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm on
excuse
step
me.
2 of my 4 step.
Excuse me, I'm here to court a bitch.
right.
Is this the bitch courting session? I was just thinking, like, maybe if I could just court a bitch, like, I'd be cool.
Like Odysseus, I know you be trying to shoot that bow and everything, but like you can't just be courting no bitch like you did before you disappeared forever.
gotta woo me.
You better woo me.
You
I feel
better
like
woo me.
I feel like that's gotta go on the board right
So,
now. That's-
Do you need more
we-
water?
you
No,
better
I'm
woo
good,
me.
thank you, honey. When we talk about traditional,
Oh, we do need another water for Anthony.
Okay,
Give him a
I'll
moment.
get you one.
Grazie.
okay, so I want to just explain the traditional thing. When we say traditional, we mean relationships were originally formed not for being in love and fulfillment. They were about convenience and economics, survival.
Necessity.
And now that women are in the workforce and we can handle our own business and we don't need you wonderful men to pay our bills and protect us and pay for our shit.
Shout out to Destiny Child.
Yes, we don't need you to pay our bills,
it's
pay our
ironic.
telephone bills. Yes, I get it.
Bills. Mitch doesn't know.
Yes.
That's why you on that side, Mitch. You ain't never gonna get on your couch.
I'm gonna peep you up on game with black music, Mitch. I got you, boo. Don't worry.
Thank you.
If I ever find a newsletter, I will burn it. I will burn it before you ever get a
I
chance
got
to
2
read it.
black people here vouching for me. It doesn't work like the Italian
I'm
voucher.
pretty sure
you
y'all
guys.
made us 3/5 a human being. You need one more black person. Veto.
Right. So I'm gonna go back to my tradition, and we're back.
Sorry. Okay.
Please do.
Okay, so now that women can take care of themselves and men can take care of themselves, we don't have the same exchange. So we're not traditionally exchanging the same things. And to us, what's happening in dating is people are still trying to run a traditional model when we're no longer traditional people. Women are not staying at home, cooking and cleaning and take care of the farm while the man is out working and bringing home income. Her job is not to just raise children and take care of the home. So we have to change the agreements between two people in a relationship, let's say, so that they can coexist together and create a life together in these times. And that's what we're about. We're about consciously creating the life that you want. You choose how you want it to be. Don't automatically step into those roles and assume those roles, because those have been our roles traditionally. We don't have to play those games. We don't have to live within those roles to be in love and partnership. And it's very difficult to have this type of relationship and have that hierarchy and that tradition in a relationship. So that's what we're about. That's what
Now,
tradition means to us.
they've used a
Very well
term many times that actually, oddly enough, I saw you used once, Teddy. I don't remember what you were discussing necessarily, but luxury. Specifically, that's their kind of
finding a
underscoring
partner.
thing. Yeah, they say they deal in luxury relationships. I remember you had mentioned that before, and I was like, oh, I got some people you need to meet.
Yes, it is a
Well,
luxury.
what Mitch is commenting on is something I wrote a while ago, which is I was trying to articulate the idea that especially and just I mean in the grand arc of kind of based on what you're saying and the evolution of the traditional model into something very different now in the 21st century, it is a luxury to find a partner who fits you in a very adaptable manner.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're hitting at, is that it's very much a luxury to feel to most people aren't going to be willing to lay it out on the table as much as you did that early on in the conversation you had, especially back in, we're talking about really well before dating became this hyper niche thing with reality shows on Bravo, and it's, what it is now. And so it's the sense to find someone that you can be that forthright with, and they're willing to meet you and then be forthright on an even greater level, to sort of as an acknowledgement. It is a luxury, and I feel like that's kind of the mentality people forget about going into it.
But this is the thing that we were saying earlier about your brand. You have to know your brand, and what makes this what makes this relationship work is that I love this woman to death, but she does not complete me. I complete myself. Self-fulfillment. I fulfill myself. I'm not looking at her going, it's your job to make me happy. It's your job to make me feel good. No, that's my job to do me, to be the best me possible. Self-fulfilled, chasing my dream, taking care of myself, growing, evolving, always expanding. And her job is to do the same thing. She does not complete me. I complete myself. But then and she does that same thing for herself. She completes herself. When you get two complete people together, that's when things are incredible. That's when things are magical. But usually it's not like that. Either both partners are incomplete, or one partner is complete, working themselves, and the other one isn't. And then they're looking at the other one going, it's your job. It's like,
Excuse me.
like on the Dr. Drew show, they asked us this question with a couple. And basically what was happening is that when most people come into a relationship not fulfilled. They have this void, and this void inside of them, and they feel this emptiness. I want to be happy. I'll be happy if I fill that void. And they look for external things to fill that void. That person, if I had that relationship, that car, that house, that job, that would fill that void. So they get that that girl, that relationship. And so she gives them that partner will give you the illusion for a while that they're filling that void. And it feels good. And, oh my God, I'm in love. My void is filled. I feel happy. I'm satisfied.
I want to be with you all the time.
Right, but eventually that person has to take their attention away from you.
So it's like instead of patching the hole in the wall, just hanging a photo up over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when that person takes their attention away from you, boop, the void is there again. And then you start freaking out. Something's wrong. It's you. Fix it. You're acting right. You're changing. You're this and that. And this person could never fill my void, no matter how hard she tried. Yeah. So the key is for me to fill my own void and for her to fill her own. That's the key to making it work. So now, if I'm filling my own void, living the best life possible, that's my brand. I know my brand. This is who I am. Now, when I go on that first date, I'm not going to go in there being, who do you want me to be? Who do you want me to be? No, hell no. Just like the date that we had. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. But I'm not going to hide it, and I'm not going to snap. And then that person either take it or leave it. Eventually, I'll find somebody that goes, That's what I want, because I'm like that too. Then we're a match. We'll take it from there. And that's what our mission is. That's what we've been doing all these years with our clients. We've been taking single people, reprogramming their way of thinking, and they've been going out there getting these amazing relationships.
See, that's what I'm trying to go back to, sort of saying the bridge between our respective sort of positions here. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that it's sort of like to go back to the buffet, right? Like you should not. It's a really good analogy. The more I think about it, it's great. I feel like it's again the sense that people aren't doing the work to make themselves self-actualize. Shout out to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Some people aren't. I mean,
But again, that you can't do better till you know better.
Right,
and I told them this.
Right, and I think that's the thing where it's like you grow up in a society where so much of what you learn is a lie or myth.
Right.
You are growing up in broken homes, latchkey kids, you know what I mean? And it's that idea that you are not only being birthed into sort of an emotional deficit, but when you try and find out about it, they just sort of push more dirt on you.
Right.
You know? So it's you don't even really get the sort of even or barely unfair platform to dig yourself out of, because every experience you have is the worst kind of negative reinforcement. And it's the idea that you shouldn't even really be looking around for a buffet so much. You should be at home cooking your own meals, doing your own grocery shopping for a while, getting yourself in shape before you have the luxury of going out to a buffet.
Listen, man,
Mitch,
I'm working on
to
it. It's
bring
a lot
it
of
all
work.
together. Okay,
It's like, you know, I got
That's
the pull-up bar. I'm
You
doing the
should
couch
be-
to 5K
you-
program. It's
before
a lot of
you-
work. I'm just saying, lay off. I know how to cook.
Right?
I've been teaching myself.
No.
I got good knives and shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
I'm
the good
trying
knives.
hard up in here.
before
Oh, you weren't talking about me.
Yeah.
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Go
no.
ahead.
I'm saying you got to have a George Foreman machine before you can
Got
even
that.
get a
Got
buffet.
that. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not ready.
Have you
yeah.
used it so much it's not even efficient anymore? You ain't ready for no buffet.
No, what I did was I got the cast iron skillet. You know what I'm saying? So it's
But you know,
it's-
I want to
okay.
go back to something you said earlier, that it, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase, that it annoys you, or whatever feelings you have about your perspective of people doing the same thing over and over. We call that looping. People are looping and looping and looping around the same types of relationships, if not the same relationship, because they don't know how to get off the loop. They don't have examples that there's something better. But as they loop around it, what happens is they start to see, like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And as they realize that they don't want it, it helps them to figure out what they do want. Because 9 out of 10 clients we meet with, they don't really know what they want. It's very superficial. It's characteristics. They don't know what a relationship looks like. They don't know what it feels like because they have not been privy to
All
it.
very surface
So
level.
It's very surface stuff. So we drill down a lot deeper, and we teach them what the energy of actual love is about. We teach them how to get along with each other. We teach them how to communicate. We teach every area of that. And there are not a lot of examples of it. There are not a lot of teaching of this. Most relationship experts are very, very traditional. Anthony and I dig into brain science, neuroscience. We love quantum physics. We deal on a very, very deep level with people.
Then a lot of
Much
real
more of
life
an
experience.
empirical kind of level in some sense.
Then a lot of real life experiences,
Right.
like a hardcore real life.
Well, I mean, I think that's the one thing with dating, especially when you look at some of the things that have been popularized, that are sort of pop culture touchstones. The best example I can kind of think of is Millionaire Matchmaker with what's her name, Patty
Stanger.
on Bravo, who is just
What is that?
it's opposition research, Mitch. Is what it is. Okay, she is just borderline reckless. In terms of the things and the notions that she propagates
Is
about.
this, are they trying to match millionaires
she
together?
basically- yeah, she
Millionaires
has-
looking for women for the most part.
Right.
She's telling them
It's
what to do.
predominantly
Just
male.
buy a bitch.
Well, they essentially are, and they're
Are,
also
yeah.
buying some advertising time on Bravo as well too. It's it's two birds with one stone. But she also, I mean, the problem is, and this is kind of why I was trying to
Excuse
hear
me,
more
if
about
you got
your.
$1 million, you could just buy a bitch.
That's you, Mitch.
They're trying to buy love.
Right.
Yes.
See.
You can't buy a bitch,
They're
but you
trying
can
to
buy love.
They're trying to buy fulfillment and contentment. All those
Well, the
other
Beatles told you can't do
ethereal
that.
feelings. They don't listen to the Beatles. They're dirty
All right.
hippies. But the whole
Damn
problem
hippies,
is
socialists.
that she has been granted, kind of like you're saying, they have no real notions and examples, and the examples they have are damagingly superficial. She writes in like Entertainment Weekly, reviewing other shows and
Right.
whatnot, and so. And and she appears on Bravo's After Hours special, and she just makes a bunch of really homophobic, like ignorant remarks about things. She's got a very, very kind of shallow way that she thinks about things, and that is where you're getting your notions about not just dating. And I think this is why, when you talk about science, and this is what people really sort of marginalize what dating is, it's not just dating and going out for drinks and stuff. It really is this larger existential human interaction, and it does really represent a lot of these primal elements that have been glossed over, by the advancements of human society, that we like to think that we're so evolved from where we came from. But really, they're just very neon versions of basic things that we watch on Discovery Channel.
Yes.
And it's that sense of, if you don't connect that to actual brain science, then you're working from a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if you really wanted to meet someone who was going to bring you this fulfillment and this contentment and this sense of just happiness and just the sense of like, I know that I got all these things going for me, and like now that I know that I can share them with you, I feel infinitely better.
Yes.
It's self-defeating logic to then not do everything that you could to make your decision making as crisp and empirical as it could. And I think that's what frustrates me, is how do I get people to you? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I know
Well,
people
we're
like
on
you
your
exist.
show tonight.
And
I
that-
mean,
Riffin'!
we did come out to
Yeah.
riffin'. Hey,
It took me since the first episode. I've been trying to get, and then this is the thing
It's that
about
buffet riffing.
this is one of those like I said, two-prong team here. Is that Melanie reminded me that I cannot rely on Anthony to make a plan or follow.
I do remember.
Follow a schedule of any kind.
That's
Year and a half of asking him to come on the show. I talked to Melanie one time. I was like, we still have not gotten you guys out here. She goes, when do you want us out? I was like, I don't know. Like, let's. I got the 22nd up. She goes, we're there. I was like, fucking really?
Okay.
You didn't tell me.
No.
You got to know. You have got to know, Anthony. You have got to know
But here's
your shortcomings.
Okay, you go ahead, and then I want to say
Go
what I
ahead.
want to say, because I never wanted to seem like I'm emasculating my husband, and I'm saying that he cannot make decisions and that he's not an intelligent
I'm not,
person,
no.
because he's like amazing beyond amazing. So go ahead, and then I'm gonna circle back with what I want to say.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome, honey.
Jeez. Now it sounds like I was ripping on the guy.
I thought it was riffing, not ripping. It's
Yeah, well, I was-
ripping.
I'm just saying, look,
Riffin',
everybody's got
rippin',
that
riffin'.
thing, like
okay.
where you go, like, I'm not.
No, this is a
Actually,
great
Mitchell-
point. This
Go
is a
ahead.
great point for
This
couples.
makes for great radio.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So this is good. No, actually,
We've also been
no,
waiting
no,
for
it's true.
10
It's
years
true.
to do a radio
It's
show
true.
together.
Yes.
So,
And I do want. Okay, I'm gonna
all right, go ahead.
Go to your
this
point,
moment.
sir.
Yeah.
to apologize to my friend. Okay.
No, it's
because
all
no,
good. All right, go ahead.
Because you have been trying to get me on for a long time. We've been talking about it, and I've even committed a couple of times to do it. And then always some crazy shit would happen, something, and I'd always tell her, I feel like crap. I told him I was gonna do it. Now I can't do it. Oh, what can I do? I have no choice now. I just gotta be real. I can't do it. I just got to tell you, you know I am. I'm gonna be real. I'm just be like, hey, I can't do it. But I had every intentions of doing it, and I respect you so much, and I love you so dearly as a friend that it made me feel really bad to not be there for you in that way. And so when she said that, I got so many things going on that when she said, hey, you want to do a mixed show? I'm available. I'm gonna do it. It was like, oh crap! Finally, yes, let's go do it. Good. You want to do it? I'll do it. Let's go do it and get it out the way. So. I'll take
And
that.
something about Anthony is that, and this goes back to what you're saying, we work so hard to help people that we are constantly working. This man pretty much works 7 days a week, nonstop. So, and to pull him away from his work is very difficult, very, very difficult indeed. And so I'm the one
can
who
relate
keeps
to that.
I'm the one who keeps the schedule of everything that we do. And so he doesn't focus on those things. We're partners. He doesn't need to focus on those types of things. So whenever anyone asks him about scheduling, I just tell people, you should know better. That's not his department. He is not going to do it.
Way to go, Mitch.
Yeah, that's not his department.
Why you gonna make that man apologize?
But by the same token, he's an amazing
Can't
creator
win.
of content. He's amazing at writing and working on our projects. That's his department. That's what he does best. So he's always in his flow. So when you say that, the reason I want to clarify that that is I really dislike the idea of women treating men as if they're some type of buffoons and they can't make appointments and they can't schedule. And there's a lot of that in our society. So anytime
rescind my previous
anything
remark.
that comes off like that is I'm going to jump on it and I want to clear that up definitely
right.
because we are partners, we're a team, and we have very different jobs in our companies. We have several companies and we have very different roles. And I'm the PR person. You'll see me on Facebook. You'll see me on social media. You will never see Anthony there. That's not his deal.
Did somebody
Not
just
his
get
role.
shanked?
She is littering the cafeteria
I really
with all
meant it
kinds
as
of
a,
toothbrushes.
I meant it as a helpful partner thing, but apparently
She
the
just
riffing let up long
Please
enough to get
proceed,
shanked.
Governor.
So I apologize,
But
you know.
it wasn't about you, Mitch.
That
It's
wasn't
about
about
the
you.
women
I get it,
listening
I get it. I
because I
understand.
know
You know
how
how
the
we are.
female brain
I do.
works, and it's
I
like,
do.
oh, look, see,
tell
she,
him.
She does
Right,
it. She
yeah.
handles everything for him. He doesn't do it.
Well, I feel like this is
Right.
one
Those
thing
men.
that I've
men.
Mitch and I have talked about this before.
Listen, I'm not very good at washing my bowls. I need a woman in my life who knows how to wash a good bowl. That's what I need. I don't know what this voice is, but I'm going to start
I
using
like
it more often.
It's like a
like it,
real
I like it.
egalitarian Elvis.
Yeah, it's like kind of Elvis vibe.
But Mitch and I have talked about the idea of a lot of, especially women's magazines like Cosmo and what have you, which are written by women who don't know really anything about relationships. and
Lick
never-
is sex.
Like,
That's hot in the bed.
They've never had any kind of meaningful long-term relationship, and then you drill that down from the macro to the micro level, and you've got these social networks of people who have a bunch of frivolous, superficial engagements and relationships, then just giving a bunch of terrible advice to people based on their own terrible anecdotal
Right.
experience.
There you go.
And then it just spirals out of control, and then when a female encounters a male who's like, well, like maybe you shouldn't think that. And she's like, whatever. Like I know what my friends are saying. And you're like, all right, well, like.
All right, wait. To that point, I have an anecdotal story that goes back to the first time. I think it was like the first time that we all hung out and talked and whatever have you. When I was at your house, I met up with Anthony at the Starbucks, I believe. I went back to your place, and we were going to do a radio show thing. And at the time, I was insecure in my relationship with Selena. And you sat us down and you said, okay, I'm going to throw questions at the both of you, and we're going to see how you guys compare. And the first question you asked was like, okay, so I'm with, my boyfriend, blah, blah. I'm thinking about, I've been thinking I want to go to a swinging club or swingers club, whatever have you. But he's not into that. He's very nervous about it. How would I proceed? And you told me to take the question first. And I came from a position of like discomfort in my own relationship because at the time I was unemployed. Girlfriend was a stripper. So it's like she's doing something I hate and making all of the money at it. And we fought all the time about that.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. And it's also especially, I don't care how like strong you are as a person and secure with yourself. You can only brush off so many hundreds of dudes a day that tell you that they would worship at your feet for all their life if they ever got a chance to go to dinner with you or some shit. It's impossible for you to just ignore that. And you come home and there's me on the couch like, hey, honey, you going to make dinner or should we go get McDonald's or whatever? You're gonna be like, this fucking
Why can't we go
day,
to TGI Fridays, you stingy motherfucker?
all fucking day. Fucking dudes are throwing themselves at me, and I come home to this. Anyway, so my answer to that question was very saccharine, very, it didn't have any, because it was coming from a place of like discomfort, and I was not in a position to be giving any sort of relationship advice, and I was doing that like, well, maybe you guys gotta talk, and you should understand, and maybe he's not into that. And then Anthony said, no, you should go, because you're probably gonna break up anyway, but maybe you'll enjoy it. And I was like, immediately, I was like, all right, I'm letting him handle these. Because, like, I immediately remember thinking to myself, like, I literally couldn't, if my girlfriend was, at the time, if she was in the room for that conversation, I would have the most awkward drive home. Because I was like, I don't even want to have that like, I'm already on shaky ground. I'm already not feeling very confident about any part of this relationship. Right. If that even came into the picture, I'd have been like, I'm just going to have to just kill myself because there's no way that's going to, this is not good. So to your point, that's the solid advice. You should go because you're probably not right for each other. And as things go, when temptations are about, if somebody's got an idea, a fantasy in their head, things like that, if they bring it up to their partner and their partner's like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," that's just going to grow.
Yeah.
And then they're going to find a way to fulfill that need with or without you.
Right.
So how often would you say these days, or really in your time, would you say that you meet with a couple and then after 5 minutes you're just going, you're going to have to break up? Like, this is not working.
Yeah. Here comes the wrinkle.
Well, do you want me to take that? You want to take it?
First off, how often does it happen? And secondly, how do you say it?
Actually, it happens.
Please cite examples.
It happens regularly.
I would imagine so.
Right. And we're not going to just from day one just be like, you're fucked.
Right.
We're not going to just be
Hey,
like,
your dog.
Right.
You see this thing you're running?
Yeah, oh, Hitch. Yeah, yo.
Ain't not me. Poor life decisions.
Water me.
So we'll work with the couple for a while, and we'll give them little baby steps to take. Okay, just try this. Okay, you screwed that up. Okay, just try this. Ooh, you screwed that up again.
Right.
Ooh, and after doing that enough times, then we'll have the talk with them. I go, okay, we got to be honest. If you guys continue to do what you're doing, this is the reality that you're probably facing. Very likely. You're probably going to break up. You're probably going to go your separate ways and this and that. And we'll break it down to them in a way that they can get it. And
Right,
go.
right.
So now at that point, it's on them. We can give you the options. What you want to do with it, you got to take it from there.
Yeah.
But we'll never just come out and be like, you're fucked.
So what
when we're together, we might be like, they're fucked. But
Right.
we're not going to
Naturally.
tell them
So
that.
what kind of time frame?
Every situation is different.
Okay, but
Every relationship's
is there sort of an average, like within a month of working with a couple? Would you say that you like how quickly do you feel like you
We'll
can
tell them, or that we know.
like between like
We-
you
we
knowing
know right away.
you
We
know
know,
you,
yeah.
you're gonna walk
No,
in, but like
we-
what between like you giving them sort of the net and the sense of like, all right, we're gonna walk you through this to see if maybe you might catch on to this before we have to really
It's
break.
usually a month. Usually about a month because we do weekly sessions.
Right.
So we do the 1 to 2 hour sessions weekly. But the thing about couples is this: is that they pretty much come into any type of coaching and counseling with their own outcome in their mind. And if we're telling them to break up, it's because one of them really wants to break up and is just going along with the coaching or the counseling because they don't have the balls to say, I really don't want to be with you anymore. So they just keep up the behavior until the other person goes, hey, I don't want this anymore.
They don't want to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to be the bad
And
guy.
so
so-
essentially finding someone else to be the hatchet person.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And so what we do is generally we'll coach them separately and we'll try to help them to individually get into the best place possible for themselves and then to bring that into the relationship. And-
Kind of a sort of a preparation for the sort of this is the impending aftermath.
Right.
This is what you sort of if you want it to be as clean as possible.
But I got to tell you something funny. We had a couple that I absolutely believe that they should have broken up. And when we went to them and told them that, and they believed that they should break up too, but they just couldn't do it. They decided we just can't do it.
They'd be willing
and
to-
they just accepted. They said we're willing to accept
and be unhappy.
and be unhappy the way the relationship is.
They'll take mediocrity over single.
Yes, rather than
That's cool. If
rather
that works
than
for you,
split up.
cool. If that
and so
works.
the thing that they did was interesting. They had another baby. And they just went to their respective corners, and they used to fight constantly. They stopped the fighting. They still fight, but they don't fight constantly like they did. They've learned to manage it, and they took what we
bearable.
taught them so that it's bearable
You're
for them.
burning up inside over this, aren't you?
Not my, that's not our recommendation because we go for luxury. We're about teaching luxury,
Right,
and that's
no.
not luxury. But we can't make people do what we want.
No,
we can
but
only work with them to the
that's-
capacity that they
see,
have.
Right.
See,
But
see, to bring it back to the bridge, at least at the buffet. You know what I'm saying? Before when they were
we're
coming
through
to
the
the
bridge
bridge
and the buffet.
See, they were
Okay.
coming to the
All right.
bridge. They're like, "Oh, that's a nice buffet over there. We're gonna hit that buffet up." And me and my peoples was in the fucking bushes. We were like, "Nah, son, blow that bridge
Now
up."
what are we
Y'all
taking? Are you
need to-
taking?
y'all need to get
Now
over
are
there.
you
Y'all need
taking
to
a
get
horse
across.
to the buffet over the bridge, or are you driving in?
They
like
they go they
like
taking a horse. They got a
Studebaker
horse.
and
They got a horse. Son.
drop
we,
top.
We
something?
some real gorilla rugged motherfuckers, son. We
Alright.
some ragtag
Alright.
Minutemen, son. Shout
Yeah.
out to the Delaware crossing, okay?
No idea what that means.
As George Washington, get some knowledge.
Oh, you said Delaware. I think you said Delaware.
Delaware. Delaware. But
But-
it's interesting and real quick for couples that the other thing that we find is that because they know each other, they think we got this. We got this. We actually recommend that couples do coaching early on in their relationship so that they can learn the tools before they get too deep into it.
What do you define as early on exactly?
Actually,
What would you
even
say?
before the relationship,
yeah.
even before they're gonna.
So would you
single people?
That's what I was gonna say.
Married people,
Ideally, who would come to you? Sort of, if you had to lay out your ideal pupil.
Ideal or target?
Okay, I'm saying ideal, and in terms of the sense of maximizing your ability to interact with a student and catch them right before they fall into the traps that you know exist, and they get trapped in that loop that doesn't
gonna write
ever
down the answer.
close.
Yeah.
And the loop expands itself, basically just pushing them towards the outer edges of the universe where only coldness and sadness exist.
Well, that's why we spend a lot of time at the nurseries at the hospitals because we found
As soon as they're born,
they're
we
very
need to get in that
vulnerable.
head.
They're very vulnerable at that age.
That's why we hit up the teething ring at Kids R Us. Know what I'm saying? Hey, yo,
While the mother's giving birth, we're like right there going, okay, well, don't believe anything the world tells you.
Hey.
All
You're
that
a
sort of
powerful
bullshit. You're a
creator.
powerful creator.
Are you gumming right now? Are you gumming? Let me take the walls down for you.
Now they say this is a joke, but they do have a 13 how old is she?
13,
13-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So they have actually done that.
She started off really young.
Yeah, we started our daughter really young.
She's gonna
Listen,
be next.
I come from the parents of my dad was a family therapist. My mom is a psychiatrist specialized in adolescence. So I get the tag teaming.
Nice.
Plea
Nice.
out. Like I wish you would beat
Let
me.
me
You know
ask
what I
you,
mean? Like I wish
Were they
you
happy?
would like.
Were they
Motherfucker
happy
would.
together?
Yeah. And it was that sense of like the two people who would just spend 2 hours just like just with no
The
fucking
talks.
rush at all, taking the time, just breaking you down and just
Conversations.
right, just talking with
Yeah,
it, just
that sounds-
marinating in it, just
Is
thinking
that why you're
about
holding
it.
your heart right now?
Huh?
Like,
Why you gotta be bringing my Napoleon complex?
I've never seen him do that pose before. He's like,
I just want to be
It's
close
all
to Bruce
coming
Lee
back to
right
me.
now. I just want to be close. Sorry.
That's hilarious. I have a son and a daughter from a previous marriage. I was married before Anthony and I got together, and so I have two adult children. And my son is 22, and I remember when he was about
he's 22 now.
yeah, he's 22. I remember when he was about 6. One time he came out of the room after Anthony was talking to him, and he was like, "I don't want Anthony to have any more conversations with me."
I mean, I just like
He just wanted to get in trouble. He's like, "Just punish me, no more conversations."
right? It's brutal. It's like an existential beatdown, yo.
He's grateful now.
I am eternally grateful. It is a fantastic model. But I similarly, my dad.
Well, that's where I go for my lectures when I need them.
I get it.
When I done fucked up.
my dad had
Call the surrogate parents on the phone.
There you go.
my dad.
I need a beat down.
Right, my dad had older kids from a previous marriage, and it was like just an absolute, just dysfunctional, abusive, terrible things. Like his ex-wife would take the lining off windshield wipers to beat the kids, like just like crazy abusive. So like they came in with my mom, and then they rebelled and would pee in the iron when she was gonna iron their clothes, and then like I was like, yo, that's like not even the good kind of rebellion, son. Like this is my shirt. You go iron my own urine on my
Don't
shirt. Like
pee-pee on my stuff.
it's not even an effective way to lash out. What's wrong with you, motherfuckers?
Excuse me, you do know you still had to iron with that?
Right. So like I grew
Extra
up.
starch.
I grew up right after the period of them sort of giving them a chance as young adults, being like, all right, like you can adapt, or like we're gonna move on without you because
Yeah.
we're setting boundaries. So part of my childhood, my dad passed away when I was 11, so like my early childhood was watching my dad with my older brother be like, listen, you can't bring your crazy girlfriend over to my house and get in fucking fights with my like. I'm not gonna like I watched my dad lay those lessons down to him from the garage, like watching from the doorway, just like watching my dad just be like, get the fuck out,
Yeah.
and like bye. Did the same thing. He had a they were about like I would have been maybe like 8 or so, and they would have been in their like 19, 20, so like early 20s, so
Yeah.
like a pretty substantial
Right.
age difference. But to watch those boundaries be created and that sense of like I know what you are to me, but I can't have you bring that shit into this new. You had your chance.
Yeah.
Grow up now, and then so I feel like that's a lot of what people are lacking in that sense of you talk about examples where it really is that sense of I will tolerate something from you because I care about you, but you have to know this is my firm line, and once you violate this boundary, then the repercussions will be swift and severe.
Yes.
You know?
Right. Very true. No, I agree. One point, I'm not to jump around, but I'm gonna jump around.
Go ahead and jump around.
So,
Get
I
up
came to
your
get
feet
down.
and jump around.
I came to get down.
came
Word
to
to
get
your
down.
moms.
Don't try to play me out as if my name
I
was Sega.
came to drop bombs. So how dare you? Johnny Carson's in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yes. I came to get down,
when you asked
jump
us,
around.
and it got wild. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
when you earlier you brought up the point about the relationships and couples that aren't going to make it. One of the things that we do though that's really important is that even if we feel like the couples aren't going to make it, the thing that's really important at that point is to clean up whatever mess they got going on. Because if they don't clean it up, they could leave that relationship, and in that next relationship, they're going to attract it right back.
Right.
And they're going to keep getting over
The loop,
and over
as you were
and
saying,
over
right?
again.
That's where the looping
because that
comes
loop is not just they're just doing that because they don't know better. What's going on is that those are actual addictions that are going on. They've developed neural net connections that are wired like that.
It's the brain pathology, and,
Right.
it's tough to unwire. I mean,
Right.
the thing that you realize very quickly when you come to research the brain is that when you find, especially self-defeating negative wiring, when it is accumulated at a very early age, especially, it is almost impossible to unwire or to unravel.
And that's the work that we do. We go back there and rewire that stuff.
And that's why it's so tough for people to really do that work, because you've got to confront some really profound existential disappointments.
Well, a lot of the stuff they're not even aware is going on because they've.
But it's there and it
there.
affects you.
Yeah.
But then to sort of bring it back to the earlier point that you were making about, when you sort of realize, like, it's not that those things didn't exist beforehand, it's just that you weren't paying attention to them.
Right.
So instead of a car, it's a bunch of emotional traumas.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a bunch of familial disappointments.
Right.
It's not as easy to swallow as it is when someone's just explaining it to you as a Carfax analogy.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
And that's what we do. We break it down and we dig, and then we find out what we call resistance. When we find that resistance, then we start the reprogramming process. But we definitely have them clean it up before they move on to another relationship. And then in the process of cleaning it up, what happens is that our goal is also to help them to become more self-fulfilled. So as we help both partners in the relationship to become more self-fulfilled, what happens lots of times is that the relationship starts to change because they no longer start looking at that other person to fill that void. They're doing it themselves. They're feeling happy about themselves now. And then when we can get two of them doing that, then we reprogram them to start focusing on the things that they appreciate about their relationship. And that's a whole nother process about what they appreciate about each other. And so even there's been times we thought, are they going to make it? And once we start working on them individually and cleaning that stuff up, they worked it out. And then things all of a sudden just took off. And so most people, they don't have, most relationship coaches, they're not going to go dig on that level. They're not going to do that. And then us being an example, that's huge. Because when we're working with these couples, we're being ourselves. We're making ourselves vulnerable. We're talking to them. We're not playing psychiatrists. We're not sitting on a couch and we're not above. No, we're on your level. We're like your people.
tell them how we
we're your
did it,
friend.
how we
This is how we
got
did it. We
past those
screwed up.
hurdles.
We messed it. We did it this. We did it. So what? Here we are. And that, by us making ourselves vulnerable, they trust us and then they allow us in. That's where the vampire thing comes in. We will not come in unless you.
Yeah. Unless you invite me.
Sound effect.
Yeah, come on, Mitch. Come on.
Sorry.
He's paying attention. He's not
Go
doing
ahead.
sound
Go
effects
ahead.
right.
Say it again.
We are like vampires.
You enraptured him too much with the baritone.
And
Or are you?
we will not use.
You wanted
I
the
want
effect.
That was good too, but the
echo.
effect, the echo.
Oh,
He wants to make a
I'm
wants to
sorry.
make a declaration, Mitch.
I'm sorry. Okay, the declaration. Yes, I got it.
Make
I
your
got it.
declaration, baby. There it is.
Because we are like vampires. We cannot come into your life.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead.
We cannot come into your life unless you invite us in. Because we are like vampires.
Can I imagine?
Dinner theater is finished. For
I'm
the evening.
imagining the greatest sketch of all time with
Wait, hold on.
Anthony as Dracula, like at Dracula's castle, and he's
try
like
it.
there for a
You want
big
to try it again? I
announcement.
got a different one.
And
try,
Workshop,
try
right?
it. I'll try it with a slightly different effect.
Okay, ready?
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because we are vampires.
Okay, that was fun.
It's like Anthony is Dracula, and he's like trying to like announce like some real like ball ass Dracula initiative, and Mitch is his AV club who's just like fucking up everything. He's
I
like
love
just
the ground.
yeah, right. Like all the audio cues is off. He gonna put the spotlight on Dracula. He's like, why you gonna put the spotlight on me? You know I don't do light. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, master.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, Mitch.
Yeah. Hold on. I had one more. Oh, well, he did ask you the question of what
Yes.
would be your ideal or your target market, and I wrote down what I think the answer is going to be, so I'm waiting for the
Oh
answer.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay,
So
we're
to bring
talking
up
about-
Who's your target market? Like, two people walk in and you go, ooh, goody.
I think I
Who's the
want to
goody
know
people?
ideal
Honestly,
first of all. I want to see it.
there's a
But
couple
maybe
of
I'll
answers
go.
to this question.
Okay.
If you're looking at it from a financial perspective,
No.
well, that's if we're talking business, we're coaches, we have a business.
Sure.
From a financial perspective, it's single women because single women are willing to pay money to get coaching to attract a relationship because they want it that bad.
And that's
Desperate in
what I
LA.
was trying to say earlier is that the dudes don't want to put in the effort, so that makes a lot of sense to me.
Right, but we
Some-
are finding
some
that
dudes.
more and more guys are
Yeah.
starting to step up to
I'm
the plate.
sure,
yeah.
but I feel like there would be a significant disparity. Is what
Yes.
it would.
Right.
It's
Yes,
what I'm
yes.
at this point in this thing.
Right.
Yes.
But
Well, okay, go ahead.
overall, the whole thing with the singles, again, I'll let you get to that question real quick.
No, it's not a question. I was going to give what
Yeah, I
I
wanted
think
to
your
get what
answer is
you-
going to be.
Fold
Go
your
ahead.
paper, sir.
With singles,
Yes, sir.
what we try to do as well, it's like we said earlier, we can give it to you, but what you're going to do with it. We can spend all this time helping you attract this person, there you go. Then you go off and screw the relationship up within a year. And then you're back to where you started from. So what was that all for?
Back to your George Foreman grill.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we look at it like jumping into you're a person that don't know how to swim, but then you go, I'm going to jump into this ocean, and while I jump into this deep ocean, then I'll figure out how to swim. Not a good move.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die. You're gonna drown.
Yeah.
You're gonna drown. So the key is to go, you know what? Before I jump into this ocean, let me learn how to swim first. And then I'll jump into the ocean. I'll have a much better experience.
Check out some Tide reports.
So
you go.
what I need you to do is get Teddy over his fear of dolphins.
Yo, first of all, you can't get me
Speaking of
over a fear
oceans.
of the revolution.
Feel dolphins.
Okay.
Right. So that's the key. We try to teach couples, singles, how to build a successful relationship
Mm-hmm.
before you try to find that partner. But society has taught us backwards, backwards. They taught us spend all your time to find that person. Once you find that person, everything's okay.
Yeah.
No.
Then you build out.
Yeah,
figure it out from there.
Exactly. You're better off if you learn how to build it first. So come to our workshops. Go to be around couples that have successful relationships, which most people don't know very many couples with long-term successful relationships.
Right. And then when they do meet someone who is any kind of success, they kind of ridicule it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel it's very
Well, they
difficult.
got lucky,
Well, it's
or they
it's
got-
difficult to
Right.
sustain
call
success because
bullshit.
your entire
Yeah.
peer group is just bitterly cynical.
No one else has it, so
Right.
they're
And I mean, you can
minority.
understand why they would feel that way, but
Mm-hmm.
it's incredibly tough to sustain an example when you've got no real ground to sort of germinate from, you know?
Right.
We're
But
product of our environments.
we want, and we say this all the time, we want people to talk about their great relationships so we have more examples of it. And Anthony and I say all the time, we literally could stay in our bedroom and be very, very happy not doing this work because we love each other. We got it already. But people started looking at us going, how are you doing that? How are you doing it? So we decided to start helping them. And we started, Mitch knows, we started with men. We started helping men because 10 years ago, we saw that men were giving up their masculinity to women. They were letting women win all the time because they wanted to get laid. So it's like, okay, I'll do what you want. I'll do what you want. I'll do what you want. Let me get laid. But then women didn't respect them anymore. They saw them as ballless and they kept it moving. So So we started our work with men, and then women just kind of naturally started coming around going, hey, what you doing with the men over there? What's going on? And so then we extended to women, then we extended to couples, and now we do work across the board. We are life coaches. We do work about living your best life, about attracting your perfect partner, maintaining an amazing relationship. We do all of it because our whole culture, our whole society needs it. There's not just one section. So we don't actually have a demographic. We're here to help everyone, and that's what we do.
Now, the initial book that Anthony wrote just before I had met him, I don't know how long before I'd met you, 2 years,
Probably
a year,
a year and a half.
something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think I still have at least one copy hanging around.
I'm sure you do.
Was
We worked on it a
the
lot.
How to Get Over That Bitch and Grow Balls They Can't Resist. Still available at theamazingclarks.com.
There you go, and Amazon.com.
All right. Are you working on a separate book as a couple, by chance?
Actually, yeah, we're working on that as well. But we're actually redoing that the bitch book. We're doing another version of it.
Okay.
As you know, that I sent you the script for that, right? The movie script.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I thought I sent you. All right, because that's being turned into a movie as well, a romantic comedy. So that's in the works. Yeah, so we're redoing that book. We're doing another version of it, one that can go more mainstream.
Sure.
So we're just tweaking the title and changing some of the content.
Well, there's some good stories in there that could work across the board. The good thing is, it's a quick read. It's an easy.
And it's funny.
And it helps. It helps guys
It's quick
a lot.
and easy. There's not a lot of lofty concepts per se. It's a lot of right down to business. It's a 2-hour read. So give or take.
About that.
It gives guys a basic foundation. That's if you don't have a good foundation as far as dating and relationships. It's a
And I will
great
say
start.
when I first read the book, it was during the relationship I was talking about, where I was very insecure about the whole thing. And I remember I read the book and I was like, I'm just fucked. I'm just gonna live here with this girl for a little while until I can get some money to get the fuck out. Because it was like I remember reading it and just going, it's
What I'm doing.
I hit home a little bit.
You know what? And that book,
But you know what? You walked away from that
did.
relationship like a
There you go.
man. You held your head up high with your balls intact, and you were a man about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You grew.
And for
you
me,
grew from the experience.
And when I wrote that book, that was after my first marriage failed, and after I did it all the way that society said to do it, and everything went screwed. I gave up opportunity to play pro basketball overseas and to play AA baseball here for the pro team, because I was in this relationship with my ex, and we broke up. She was my college sweetheart. We kept breaking up and doing the ex-sex thing. Then she gets pregnant, and she comes to me and goes, "It's yours." And I was honest with her. I was like, "Okay, let me be real. When we weren't together, we were both I was doing my thing. I was screwing. I'm gonna be honest. Were you screwing other people? No, not me. And so here she is, pregnant with twin boys. So now I'm going, I don't even like her. How am I going to be with her? But then my father wasn't there, so I went through that thing. That whole, you know what, my father wasn't there. I'm not going to be that kind of father. I'm going to be there for and I went home to my people in New York. They were like, you know what, step up to the plate, son, and get in there and handle your business. And so I took one for the team, got married. And a couple of years later, after the boys were born, Anthony Andrew Clark, which were named after me. My name is Anthony Andrew. After 3 years, I found out that the boys weren't mine. And by then the marriage had already ended. I already left the marriage. And I realized, wow, I gave up so many things, so many of my dreams for this relationship and for the boys. And now I learned the hard way. So after that, I decided, you know what? I'm still going to find love. I'm still going to have that amazing relationship. But like I said, I got to create my own roadmap. At that point, I went out there. I wanted to be the baddest motherfucker to ever walk the planet when it came to women. I wanted to know everything I could about how they think, what they wanted, their desires, how to please them, physically, mentally, emotionally. So I did research. I'm constantly asking questions. I'm obsessive. I'm just on it nonstop, 24 hours a day. So what happened eventually, I'm getting women left and right. Women falling madly in love with me. It's easy to me. I can make them fall in love with me like that. I become a professional male escort. Now I'm getting paid to give women my attention and my time and my body. And it was beautiful. So now, after I stepped up.
He's over there swooning all over again.
That's my husband.
So after I stepped up my game like that, and I learned all these techniques, guys started coming to me going, yo, how you doing this? What are you doing? show me. So then guys started taking me out to dinner and to bars, and they'd pay for everything. And in return, I'd show them how to hit on chicks that were around. They would bring guys back to me. So next thing I know, I had this. I'm just constantly coaching men.
Now,
Men.
where does this fall in the spectrum of pickup artists kind of becoming like a cultural thing? Mitch, I know you're kind of familiar with that whole thing. Or
You know what?
So
You
like,
know what?
I
I
saw
swear
that
to
shit.
you. I swear when I saw that Hitch movie, I swear that was my life. It was like, in fact, I kind of got emotionally kind of pissed off. Like, wait a minute. Somebody stole my story and put it out there. Because by then I had written a book and it was out on Venice Beach, and I would sell it out there, and it would just sell constantly lots of copies all over the place. And I was meeting a lot of
Anthony
people
on
in the
Venice
industry.
Beach is a sight to see.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you that
I was
right
gonna
now.
say Mitch was there. You
Yeah.
were back
They,
in the
they
day,
actually named me
slinging
when I
books from the trunk.
because what happened was by then I hooked up with Melanie. We were together, and guys were constantly coming to me for advice, and I didn't have time to keep going out and hanging out with them. And so one day she was like, "You know what? Why don't you just write a book, and then they can learn from that?" And I was like, "Write a book? I don't even read books. I don't even like to read. What the hell am I do writing a book for?"
I'll
great.
help
And
you.
she was like, "Just go ahead, just write it."
well played.
Right. So
Well
she
played.
helped me to write it. So
Partners.
put the first copy out. The book sold like hotcakes. The
That
first,
was that in the jacket quote, by the way. Write a book. I don't even read books. Author of the book.
pretty much. And,
Okay.
Oh, right. I was about to-
hey, keeping it real, man. You gotta keep it real.
On the back.
I gotta put
Fuck
my
reading,
brand.
but if you're gonna read, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Read this.
And I wrote it in a way, and I wrote it in a way for guys that aren't crazy about reading. Guys that are like, you know what? I'll listen to it. I'll read it. I mean, I'll watch it on
read
TV.
while I'm reading at the gym, something like that.
So I made it real easy, large font.
You really did.
I
Really
love
did.
how that's the first thing out.
Yeah.
Large font,
Very simple, straight to the point.
gold-plated pages,
And I came in and I was like, we got to change the front cover.
Yeah.
Let's bring the font size
free
down.
velour sweatsuits.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is not a word.
Mitch
This
came in.
sentence needs a
Yes, he
comma.
did.
Mitch
Yes, he
came
did.
in and cleaned them up.
Yes, he did. Thank you very much.
Can't just
Mitch.
be giving out jumpsuits to everybody who buys a copy. It's not even in paperback yet.
That's the deal. Right? To buy the book to get the jumpsuit.
There you go.
And you screw that up, you don't got the deal no more. Then it's just a book.
Oh, good times. Yes.
Oh,
So Venice
so he
Beach.
did. Thank you.
Oh,
Mitch,
yeah,
Mitch
yeah,
did look
no
out.
problem, no
He designed the cover for me and everything. So the first 100 copies sold in like 3 days by word of mouth. Just people, hey, can I have another one? Can I have another one? And then I took it to Venice Beach, and I would set up there, and I would they literally called me the king of Venice Beach because I outsold all of the other vendors with my product.
With
that
like
book.
the actual, just straight up, just
I had a big poster with a
He's
big
a
hand
charming
of balls,
motherfucker.
and it
Yeah.
said how to get over that bitch and grow balls they can't resist.
fearless.
And women would walk by and get pissed off, and I have a whole crowd of women around. What the hell is this? And I'd let the crowd get bigger and bigger. Kevin would help me out.
Yeah,
my nephew.
yeah.
And once the crowd got really big and the women were really pissed off, I'd do a little seminar, and I'd come out. I'm the author. Who the hell do you think you are? And I'd break down the book. By the time I was done, they'd buy 2 copies. And then they'd come back and ask me for another copy.
what kind of time frame were you watching this crowd?
Well, I will say,
swarm
I will
from?
say real quick as an anecdotal, because when I went out there to Venice Beach with him, I remember him telling me before. Now there's gonna be guys, they're gonna laugh and they're gonna look at it. They might give a quick like 1 or 2 page read, and they'll hand it back to me because they don't want to take it home. And I was like, that's not fucking happening. And I watched dude after dude go, I'd love to buy it, but
I
my
can't
wife
take it
would
home.
kill me
Yeah.
if she saw even the cover.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was not an offensive. It was a black power fist with balls in it, you know.
Bitch, you don't even
you know
know
what I mean?
what offensive means in America based on that sentence. It's not offensive. It was just Nelson Mandela holding George Washington's face.
Yeah.
With Geronimo's
Again,
hatchet.
I'm not seeing the problem. But what I'm saying is, it was literally
Burning
just
Mount Rushmore.
just the title, like bitch on the cover. The guys were so afraid that like their girlfriend or wife or whatever would see the word bitch on a book and be like, it's talking about me. And like,
And in
put it in
fair-
a dog.
in
I
fairness-
You know who was one of the biggest ones? I told you about this before.
think so. Yeah, Tim, right?
Jesse James.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
yes. He worked out at my gym, and he was dating Sandra Bullock. And I knew him from the gym. We spotted each other a couple of times. We'd talk. And one day I decided, wait a minute, he's with Sandra. I don't know how that's going to work. Yo, you know, I'm going to give him a copy of my book. And so I gave him a copy of the book. He's like, yo, Jesse, check this out. I'm going to give you a copy of my book. Check it out. Let me see what you think. And so he took the book. And I heard from him like a couple of weeks later. I went to the gym and I walked up to him and was like, yo, you'd read the book? What you think? And he was like, oh, man, that book was hilarious. I laughed my fucking ass off. But you know what? My old lady saw it and she was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, dude at the gym gave it to me. And she was like, get this shit out my house. So she made me throw it away. And I was only halfway through it. And it was like, oh, okay.
Should have completed the book.
Second
Should have
half
read the
one.
title, my friend.
Yeah.
Should have read the title. So,
Yeah,
so
I
he's
saw
absolutely
that
right. That
in-
does
in-
happen.
and
I,
it
was gonna say,
happened
I
time
feel like that
after-
would be a very fair. I mean,
It was
considering-
overwhelmingly the women were actually, once he talked to them, if not immediately on board when they saw it, maybe they would be. But after he talked to them, the women would be on board. The dudes, by and large, were either, I don't need help with that,
in denial.
you know, or oh, well, I can't bring that home.
And I guess that's why I was trying to differentiate earlier between the ideal pupil versus the target pupil, precisely because of that conundrum. Because, yeah, a lot of the people who you might feel ideally are suited for the material and the knowledge and the lessons in there are probably the people that you would have to acknowledge you are least likely to be able to successfully target sort of initially, you know, because of the problem
Right.
that Mitch is laying
But
out.
it depends on what stage they're at.
Right. Right.
Because if they're still in denial, it's not going to work. But
Right.
once they get past that stage where they just go like, you know what, I give up.
Right.
I can't do it anymore. Then they go, can I see that book again? And then they start going through it.
And that's why you
and
gotta
then it
have
hits them.
fucking people in the bushes, son, pushing these motherfuckers towards the bridge. They ain't gonna find the bridge just on their own like a regular Lewis and Clark.
To
They
take
ain't no
the
Lewis and
horse
Clark, son.
across the bridge
You need
to
a
the buffet.
Sacagawea. I will
And,
be your Sacagawea, America.
Sacagawea.
I'll be it. Put me on a gold coin right now, and you can ride a bus anywhere you want to.
But I have to say, though, we wrote that book, and I co-wrote it, and then I hid. I didn't want anybody to know that I had anything to do with
The
it.
king of Venice Beach and the lady
Remember-
behind.
Wait, where'd she go?
My
Where'd she go?
excuse, I will
gotta
say, my
remember.
excuse for taking the book home was,
Agitate and
I'm going to be
mitigate.
working with this
Right,
guy.
right.
Wait. A
I had
confession.
to say,
So wait,
yeah.
this sounds like a true confession here. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Back in the day when I first brought that book home, I immediately told the girl at the time, I was like, listen, it needs some editing work, so I'm just reading it for that, and you know what I mean. And we might do this radio show, so I need to at least know where a guy's coming from. And I was like making all these excuses. She didn't even bat an eye. She was just like, whatever.
Okay,
I don't give a
whatever,
fuck.
I don't care.
But I was like, okay, because there's this book, right? And
Just
it was
in
like,
case.
it was just, you know,
Right.
yeah. I was so ready to just apologize, be like, I'm sorry.
But the funny thing is, we get a lot of women that get the book first and they hide it from their men because they don't want their men to know what's in the book. And then the women love the book. The women are like, oh my God, this book is so on point. This book is so real. Really? And they hide it from the men. I'm like, did you share it with your man? She's like, I'm not going to give this
I've
to
never
him.
heard that term before.
Yeah, they don't share it with their men.
You don't
because
appreciate it, Mitch.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was I backed away from it because I was embarrassed of the title, to be honest. It was just too much for me at the time.
especially back then.
And
yeah.
and that was our first book. We've evolved past that material. That's when we were looking at masculinity, femininity. We've moved into more of energy, brain science, and so we're in a totally different level of teaching people to relate.
Well,
and
you've
to
got a
attract each other.
foundation. You've got.
Yeah,
You've
but
got.
that's where we started.
That was the
Right.
beginning. But that book is still selling like hotcakes, man.
absolutely.
That book is still killing them.
Well, I again, I feel like that's the thing where so many people in a large amount of cultural aspects, be it from dating to dieting to business to just basic social interaction, so many people, don't get any kind of guidance or knowledge
You're
or
absolutely right.
guideposts from the beginning. So they're searching and searching and searching, and then they end up in these bad information loops, which you just go from one superficial direction to the other. And so it's very sort of startling for you when you find something where you're like, well, how could all this sort of knowledge pool exist for all this time? I mean, it's easy to see why people are so skeptical when they're like, how could so much information be amassed and so many other people, for any real subject, especially for something like dating, we're like, it's been around forever.
Yeah.
Right. The traditionalists have got to be right. Like, I mean, come on.
Right. But women will seek out help more than men by far. And with men, guys don't realize that no guy is born knowing about women. All men are born clueless when it comes to women. And most men don't have the pride, or they let their pride get in the way of them getting off their ass and seeking the information that they need in order to be successful. So they're born clueless, and most of them will die clueless. But because they don't get off the ass and they let their pride prevent them from going to ask another man or someone else for help because they don't want to be perceived as weak.
Well, I think, especially that sense of to platform off the weakness, I think, and I'm probably, Melanie, you can see this with a lot of male clients, especially from your perspective, is that idea of, I feel like a lot of men are very fundamentally resistant to viewing a female significant other as an equal partner. And I feel like that is sort of problematic to the whole approach of, it's very difficult to accept and then process the information that the two of you are laying out if you are sort of juxtaposed to viewing this person as an equal to you who is able to not only that bring same sort of, information and enlightenment, but in some cases be a totally different, like you're saying, I know for sort of simple, Mitch and I have talked about this. I'm terrible at promotion, PR, self-promotion. Like, it is loathsome. It is anathema to me. I just fucking hate it. So I know that a lot of people are very unwilling to admit those kind of things. But if you meet someone who is all of a sudden like, well, I can do that very easy, you would think that people would be like, well, that's awesome. Oh, that is a great merging of our existence with each other. But it's like, it's weird how many people are like, no, I can't let you do that shit. Like, I didn't, no. And I guess that's where I get frustrated, where it's like, you're just fucking up everything for both people.
Yeah. Well, I would say that I see more of that in men over 40 because they're really clutching that traditional model. They want women to fulfill that role because they've been taught to be men. That's how men act. And, their role models were vigilantes and
John Wayne,
all
it's
of
like
that stuff.
daily propaganda drills that
they've
you're
just
trying to
been
unlearn.
conditioned. And so those are the hardest people to get to grasp our concepts. But younger people that grew up in single family homes, they want it. And they're on a more of an even playing field, but then they start to act out the traditional model because they don't have any contrast. They don't have any alternative. So they don't know how to navigate anything different. But the whole time that they're doing it, they hate it. And when they run into us, they're like, that's what I want. That's how I do it. Women are always asking me, how can I be a powerful woman like you, but still be a soft and feminine woman with a man? How do I do both? They don't know how to do both, but they want it so bad. So it's just that there's not a lot of this type of information out there. And you're absolutely right. A lot of coaches and a lot of experts are really gouging people for money and time and wanting to just regurgitate the same old traditional model of relationships and make one or the other bad. And this, I have a real problem with this. Most of the time they're making the men wrong. Men are bad. Men are not doing it. Men are not chasing you. Men are not wooing you. Men don't want what you want. You have to fix
should
them.
be out there getting everything together. What's wrong with you,
How's
son?
that working for you? So we
You can't
are
polish
not
a
about
shoe
blaming.
with another shoe.
I am one of the greatest grifters in the 21st century of America's history.
Yes.
Even a blind pig gets an acorn. We'll be right back.
Please allow me to bask in this syndication revenue.
Well, I think we're about out of time. I would say the problem a lot of times with the traditional model and in the Dr. Phil's of the world is that shady job security bullshit, where it's like, if he keeps giving shitty advice, you'll keep coming back because you're not fixed. And so it's that, like, there's more money in
that's the
prolonging.
ingeniousness of his model.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so destructive.
But it would be his downfall.
Because it's the sense of the model can never be failed. You are failing the model.
Right.
And that's where you've got to make sure that the loops that you're in are loops that are actually constructive as opposed to detrimental.
And moving you towards what you want. It's okay to loop as long as you know that each loop it's going to get bigger and you're moving, you're evolving, you're expanding.
If you make a lap, it's the same reason you've got a crew chief and you've got a pit crew, so that they can say, listen, you've been making a lot of laps, you're making a lot of good work, but if you want to stay in the lead, if you want to have a chance to make a push, come over here, make a little stop, tune up, fix yourself.
Great point. And for us, we love our clients. We don't see them as business opportunities. We see them as human beings that we genuinely love. Every client we've ever worked with is a dear friend.
All become friends.
And even when we
with us.
finish coaching, we only coach for 3 months because we're not about holding your hand and walking you through your life. We're about giving you the tools, and then you get your little butt out there and do it.
Right.
But if you fall or you get scared or you can't figure out how to do it, we're always here for you. You can always call us back, and we'll help you get through it.
And we love the fact that we have a lot of clients where we'll start off coaching one person in the family, and like we just finished with this doctor in Arizona we're working with, and we finished with him and his life. He got what he wanted. He was doing great. Then he came and brought back his daughter, who was 18 years old. Was like, okay, help her now.
Yeah.
So then we helped the 18-year-old. Then they had another daughter who was 16, and then he brought her to us for coaching as well. So they're bringing their entire family to us. And we have multiple clients and families that have done that.
I have a
with
mom
us.
and 2 daughters. Like, what happens is once they take on the perspective of living life from the perspective that we're giving them, they recognize this feels really, really good to me, and I want the people around me that I love to feel this good feeling that I feel. So share it with them so that they can share it with me. And we're teaching love and positivity and focus and how to
Unconditional acceptance.
rewire the brains from those old
Right.
nets.
Which is-
I will say from a personal note, again, in the, I don't know, close to a decade, maybe a decade. I have no
I think
long.
it's about that.
But let's call it a decade for fun.
I'm there.
That I've known them. These are the 2 people that I call. I called you the night or the day after, the morning after my mom passed away.
Yes.
I've called you after every breakup.
Yes.
Had many conversations with Anthony where he's like, all right, you're gonna fuck this up, but you could try this.
You know what's
I'd
great
be
is
like,
that now
all right,
I
all
can,
right, I'm
like,
gonna go fuck it
I
up
can
now.
hear Anthony's voice with that like just brutal warmth resonating
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was dating
Suffocating
when I was
bear
dating
hug
the,
of love.
the woman that I was dating when I met them, and we had broken up, and we I moved halfway across the state. And then I called them and I was like, yeah, she's calling me and I'm calling her, like we miss each other and everything. He was like, that's a bad idea. But here's what you could do. And he was like, the quote that will remain forever in my brain, and I use it all the time now, is everything's just choices. So he would say, everything's just choices. You could either do this or you could do that. In every situation, you got choices. So you could go this way or you could go that way. He's like, you could just fucking suck it up and take it, or you could try to go back to her. That's probably not going to work because those same problems are going to be there. And I sure enough, went back, and that lasted a month. But we broke up amicably the second time. It was very like,
And that's okay.
You know
he
what?
needed to loop
We
again.
figured it
See,
out.
He had to
So,
go look at it one more time to make sure.
But they don't. This is not. I'm not paying them for these 10 years of advice. So I will say on a
We'll be
personal
getting an
note.
invoice after this. Thanks for bringing that up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we look out for each other.
We honestly love Mitch.
He's fam.
I have in my heart for Mitch. Mitch is one of my babies. I call him one of my babies. All my clients are one of my babies. I have a lot of mama energy. I have adult children. I have 3
She's
children.
very motherly.
And I'm very motherly, and I feel
And
that
she's met
for all
my
of them.
mother.
I met his mother,
You
and
guys had dinner
and
with
we
her.
had a great
Good.
talk, and she said to me, "I'm so happy to know that he has a mama like you here." Because I can't be with him, and I feel that. I feel Mitch is one of mine, so we love Mitch like that. Adore him. So we're happy to be riffing with him.
It's great. It's been a pleasure to be with
Thank
you all. And
you.
just sort of similar on that note, I know we got to wrap it up, but I think you made a very good point that kind of ties in with a lot of themes we've touched in tonight. It's kind of a cornerstone, which is the sense of breaking the familial cycles and curses. And that's the big thing why if you can catch someone before you sort of reach that age where the traditional lessons and all the kinds of self-defeating ideas get baked in and it's harder to learn. It's sort of similar to a foreign language where kids learn foreign languages like that.
Yeah.
They pick up all the syntaxes just fucking amazingly fast.
Yeah.
And if you can teach someone the kind of lessons that you're talking about at an early age, like 14 or 16 years old, and you've got parents willing to build that bridge so that the kids don't go through decades of mistakes that they did, then you're definitely onto something very promising. So, mazel tov.
In the words of Einstein, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Absolutely.
What can we plug for you? We got the AmazingClarks.com, the home of all things amazing and Clarking.
Yes. I'll just tell you a couple things we're doing. Twice a month in Long Beach, we're doing a free Live, Love, and Date life coaching event for anyone that needs help, wants to come ask questions. It's absolutely free. It is our service. We are there. We are showing up, and we're bringing the love. So if you need some, come on out to Long Beach. It's on our website. We also have a meetup with the Amazing Clarks that you can get all the information about that. You can join our fan page on Facebook, theamazingclarks.com. And what else do we have going on? Always coaching.
Just check out the new site, Live, Love, and Date.
Yep, go to our website, Live, Love, and Date,
Looks
and see
great.
everything.
The meetup, is that on meetup? Is that
at meetup.com, and then it's / The Amazing Clarks.
Okay, great.
Tedrick, what can we plug for you, sir?
Oh man, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. Follow me on the Twitters for all of your Mitt Romney facts at the Romney Book. Twitter.com/the Romney Book. I'm tweeting all that opposition research that Mitch is so enraptured with. Mitch, what you got?
Yeah, I got November 10th at the Neon Venus Theater. I will be doing a show actually on YouTube. If the last 3 stand-up clips I put up are all from the last time I was at the Neon Venus Theater. So it'll be another one like that. It's nice. It's an intimate venue. I don't have to scream and yell over a bunch of drunks. I can get down. I can get into it.
Nice.
I'm writing a whole new set for it. I'm gonna sit down.
Watch out now.
Be a good time.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah. It's going
I
to
like
get
his hair.
sexy up in here. I'll also be bringing
Talk
my.
about your hair.
I will be bringing my sexy hair.
Yeah.
Right?
10 minutes of Mitch twirling his hair.
Yeah.
So, guys, seriously. All right. Thank you so much for finally coming out. Love you both.
We
Love
love
you
you too,
back.
honey. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
we'll
We're
be
very
back
proud
again.
of you.
We want to come back again and again and again.
I hope you do.
Glad to have you.
And I'll be talking to, the schedule maker
Nice.
Yes.
for the schedule.
I thought you knew, boo. I
Good
thought
job.
you knew.
Now you know.
If you don't know.
Thanks for listening to Straight Riffin'. You can catch all past and future episodes of Straight Riffin' on the official website riffin.net, riffin.net. Keep in mind, we do air live every Monday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. That's 10 p.m. to midnight for you East Coasters. You can actually watch that right on Facebook, on our fan page, facebook.com/straightriffin. Like us, check out the Ustream page. You can even chat while we're doing the show. That's how we interact with the fans. We thank you so much for listening. Check out riffin.net. Buy my album. Buy Teddy's album. We'll catch you again next time. And rip the fuck on, bitches!